how to say. I want us to learn how to do a little French trash talk. If you will, the first one, I want you to teach us how to say.
Okay, hello YouTube. Yes, we are back. I'm back with another watch party. Yeah, this is for you guys also on my YouTube channel. Please do enjoy. And I hope you guys enjoyed the previous video. So yeah.
Okay, it's not really rolled, but it's like comes from, it's a bit nasal. Like gargling. There's a it comes. It's a little bit nasal. Like it's at the back of the nose, I think. Okay, look. No, that was bad. Totally clear. I don't even know if this trash talk is right because I've never trash talked anyone in French before.
But do we sound good? I feel like we sound
Perfect.
yes. And maybe if I do the yeah, you believe me? Yeah. Nice. All right, let's do the next one. No, I don't want. No, I don't want to do that. Learn to aim.
Learn to aim. Apprendre à viser. How do I say this without? I need to know how to say it like aggressively. I don't know.
You said it pretty aggressively.
Apprendre à viser.
Yeah, I feel that felt like all right. My bad. I messed up.
But he should learn how to say that because we can't shoot. I think.
You guys.
He should be telling us that.
Not bad.
How to say? You guys.
Apprendre. Oh, you guys.
Who?
No, who is you? So like. I can't say it.
We can't ask questions other
Wrong
than
teacher, wrong teacher.
Yeah, he's the wrong one. All right, say that for me one more time.
Translating is hard.
Oh,
like,
okay.
In my head, you know. Apprendre à viser.
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 I think we're still missing something back here.
Apprendre à viser. Apprendre à viser.
I'm like trying to channel my Vansili. He could, and he'd do it back here, and it sounds really good. Yeah. You ever heard him say tour de force?
No?
Like, and it just sounds incredible. I don't know. It feels like way better. All right, next one. No skill, which is us.
This one, I don't actually know what this
language.
is.
Not like this, Alex.
I've never seen this word
like
in my
this.
life.
Let me see.
Okay, you try first.
Akune skill.
Is that a V?
I think it's Okun skill.
Akun.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with.
Akun skill.
I'm gonna go with Alex on this one.
I've never seen this word in my life. So.
Akun.
Akun skill.
Akun skill.
Okun, I think it's Okun skill.
Akun skill.
Okun skill.
This is terrible, man. I don't know what we're doing.
We probably should have checked Alex's French skills before we did this one. But you know what?
I think Le Mec is guys, so the guys.
Le Mec?
Apprendre à viser Le Mec.
Apprendre à viser Le Mec.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
Dude, you're killing this. I'm like genuinely. I'm not even gonna try it. One more time. That's gonna do it for this edition of Smack Talk Seminar. I forgot the name already. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and apprendre à viser.
Apprendre à viser.
There's something really nice about having a member of the talent, Doug, being able to actually speak French on our show, right?
That's definitely true. He's put the work in, and other people, well, they can't even learn how to say cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, some people out here embarrassing themselves. I should have went straight to the maestro himself.
Yeah, and nice to hear Alex speak French as well, you know, representing, I guess, technically his home ground? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he is the only standing member right now
Yeah, you
who has
said
even
that
a connection to France. So, as I said, you know.
Yeah, for PRX though, they have historically been super strong in VCT against the EMEA region. Will this ring true today? What should GX be worried about here?
Oh, I think there's an abundance of things that GX should be worried about. I think on an individual level, I think almost
whoever is in the stream right now, welcome in for the watch party.
Themselves against many different styles of
Giant X versus PRX.
Maybe they don't look the strongest. PaperX can still upset you, and unfortunately in this series, a lot of the middle ground maps, which we'll get to later, are actually very good maps for PaperX as well.
Yeah, and I think as we heard from Alex in the interview that happened in between one of the maps they played the other day, or in the halftime, he was saying that for them, they needed to just feel confident, warm up, and that map 2 would be a completely different story. And we saw them come out then, PaperX, looking so much more confident, looking dominant from the get-go. They've warmed up down on that stage. I don't think they're going to need the same reset coming into today. They'll be on form from the get-go. And for Giant X, I don't think they've ever played. Look, until you've played PaperX, you've never played against a team that plays like PaperX. Because even if you try to imitate their style, you don't have the individuals to back it up. And that's just a guarantee because only this team does. So for GX, they got to come in confident off rip. But we're also going to need to see them tighten up.
Jing hitting the shots
because
for one tap.
An individual mistake will cost you the game against these guys.
Here's the thing though, let me cope for a second. I mean, I'm a paper girl, but I think I will be more
I'm a
worried
paper
if
guy.
GX didn't coming off of the back of beating Sentinels. That is a confidence booster.
Yeah, it was a really impressive performance across the board. Like we saw Ara come out firing, even after being a little bit sick a few days before. I think it was very good that he seemed to look fantastic.
Why is he wearing a
Originally,
mask?
Cloud,
What the
I
heck?
think, had maybe the best performance he's had all year. Like, he was phenomenal all the way through that matchup. And he was the one player that had that additional little bit of experience. So the fact that he was able to take some rounds into his own hands were fantastic. And then one of the major saving points for me was the fact that I feel like players like Westside, who most people in EMEA highlight as their best player, actually, he was okay. It wasn't his best game by any stretch of the imagination. So coming into this one, if he's now at peak, hey, this could be a different story.
And a new hat. You like his new hat? It was the wingman.
I prefer the old one.
Yeah.
But the reality is, right, Westside didn't need to show up for that game, and that's what's beautiful to watch, because when we started out this season, not only were GX playing a sloppier game that they have tightened up the ship on day in and day out, week in, week out, but we've also seen them have Ara, who was, I'm going to say, it looked like a mistake to pick up when he joined this roster. He was not performing. He would have great maps and horrible maps, and averaging out at like smack bang average in the league. It's not what they needed. The last couple weeks and coming onto that stage the other week, he was on fire, and that's what we need to see from this guy. It's also impressive because, as you said, he was ill. They weren't able to practice. I believe they got 1 day of practice before that opening game. Everyone was just playing ranked, focusing on their individual aim training, and it paid off, especially for Cloud. So this is great signs for GX, and I've learned to never doubt them. My bad, Pipson. I was starting to question. I lost faith. But I won't beat Tom anymore. I'm not going against our region. I think they've got what it takes if it's their day.
I do like, though, that, I forgot what I was going to say. Is Westside reflecting on Giant X's win in our Omen Player moment?
I mean, I expected us to win because I believe that Sentinels is not someone like unbeatable. We started off good, but as many people probably know us from like EMEA,
West
we like
side.
to just give up the first map for free, and then last two we will just demolish. I think it's pretty hard for a team to get on a champions and still think as we are a bad team, you know? I think we don't need to prove anything. If someone will still doubt, you can doubt, but we are coming for others as well. I think here in the champions, everything is good. So I think here is gonna be super close games, you will see.
Sight where he's so fantastic at anchoring. Doesn't see it, doesn't check the corner. Danger abounds. Westside, he takes his opportunity and he converts on it.
To be honest, even
Oh my
when
god,
my
Sen
team
getting beaten by
had
another
headset,
team. Dang.
I still heard people like scouting like giants, you know, and it felt insane because every time I heard it, I knew that behind me there was so many people from Giants waiting for us to win it. So thank you so
I'm
much, everyone.
surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what Westside had to say from the last time. I do like your point about how they didn't need him to be the Westside that we know in order to win. But PRX also know that, though, and PRX are so well known for just not caring about their opponent, disrespecting them, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I think you can have a full highlight montage of just a single one of their games. Like it was the flank we saw from Forsaken and so many different like crazy individual moments that were just performing to such a high level. And it was when they needed it in some cases, and in other rounds it was just like, oh, this just ended it quick.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to what, you know, some of the boys on the side of GX have to say. It is still Cloud +4 rookies, you know, some of these guys never been to a global event. They have to come in and start with champs right off the bat. So let's hear from the leader of Giant X, Cloud, who chatted with Mika Fabs a little bit earlier.
Mika here, and I am with Cloud of Giant X. Now, you're up against PRX, and a lot of teams have said that playing against PRX, especially on the first time, is quite shocking. So I'm wondering, what are you expecting out of this match?
I'm expecting hell of a fun playing against them. I think it's gonna be a crazy game, but also like really fun to play against them. That's what I feel like. Is the crazy plays and moves, yeah.
I think the whole crowd is expecting
Also,
a lot of fun
YouTube,
as well. So
if
good luck to
you realize, yeah, I'm wearing the old one.
That's what they all say, right, though. They
I
expect
kind of want to
crazy
go
plays,
OG
they
for a bit.
expect fun.
Instead of wearing
But it's
the
one thing to expect
anniversary
it,
one.
and another thing to be able to
or
actually
the
deal
last.
with Forsaken and co.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? right? Because PRX are that team.
The one before
before
this jersey, yeah.
Hard off bat. Getting back on your feet from that is going to be a real challenge for anybody. Cloud, look, he stepped up individually in their matchup. I have no doubt he'll be able to match pound for pound. One of the things, though, that worries me is the fact that you have got some of the best components that we've seen within EMEA. Looking at Flickless, for example, providing that supportive utility, getting that set up for Ara to then go in, and I think up against, it was on Haven against Sentinels, he was 10-2 in opening duels. I mean, he gave them so many chances to hammer home those rounds. When you see Giant X now play against PRX, will they be given that space to set themselves up for success? Because PRX are going to be so disruptive to the GX early game plan.
Well, that's what it is. They're very good at sort of hitting the timing so that when you're trying to get in for your execute, which is something I think GX do fantastically well, after starting off in their default, they come into these execute scenarios. They may not get there because of the way that PRX are actually going to be playing this game.
Yeah, and this man on your screen, I mean, on paper, there is definitely a gap, maybe even a diff that people will say between Forsaken and Cloud. But I do have a tweet here, you know? We want to feature some of our watch partiers from Finesse or Jean, for those people that you know him, saying Cloud called maybe one of the best attack halves I've seen in years on Haven today. And if you're Cloud, you gotta feel happy that one of the top 13 America's IGLs has such high opinions of you.
Wow, that's a tough comment to follow, but yeah, I think that he did it. He's been growing into the role. I think that's the best way I'll say it, is that it sort of started off with being a little bit questionable. I think maybe not having the right players at the right time for the role. And then I think the credit to Pipson as well. This team now looks like a well-drilled machine. And I think him versus Forsaken, it's definitely going to be a very different sort of leadership style. You can see that a lot of the mid-round on-the-fly stuff for PRX is what makes them such a good team. Whereas I feel like it is those structured setups that are what works for GX. If GX can get into that rhythm, they'll be great. But there's a good chance that maybe they won't.
Yeah, and also, do you dare to BM PRX? Do you dare to stand up and give it to them? I hope they do.
You can try.
Yeah, they could try, but I think it's enough yapping from us. So let's just hear from the man himself, Forsaken, as Mika fans caught up with him earlier.
Hey guys, Mika here, and I am with Forsaken. Forsaken, we know you're good. The whole world knows that you're good. When it comes to global events, though, you're exceptionally good. You're a different beast. So what is it about these global events that really, really lets you perform in that way?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's just like because VCT Master or like champion, I think has my biggest goal so far that I want to like achieve really hard to get the trophy. So I know that I need to do my best to do this. So yeah.
Fueled by the dream. Love it. Good luck.
It's good goals.
I mean, Forsaken really growing into that IGL role now. But Mitch, show us also what the MVP of Pacific something managed to do in his opening game.
Yeah, I think this is actually a great point. We're going to go into a little Telestrator bit now and talk about PRX against XLG round 16. And keep in mind, in the previous round, we had actually seen Forsaken go for a super late flank all the way around and end up going down way too late. Like, he got to the site, the round was already over, they'd been disrupted. The last thing XLG expected was to see this same attempt from PRX. Remember, they're playing this map without a Sentinel, and you're going to see them start...
No, man, you guys, she's always...
And Razult fired through towards Bathroom, using a lot of this cover. I think there's a snake bite here too, which is a lot of their utility burned up early, but it gets them the space in the plant. The thing that's interesting, though, is the second that flash is thrown, this teleport takes place, as now something becomes that Sentinel utility. He's the one locking down their flank as they go for the plant. A little bit of a disruption attempt from Rarga, but unfortunately they end up pushing them back with the Mosh. Now this is where things get interesting. Again, we see utility being burned up. We see a Molotov thrown through here to allow for the plant, a nade going deep towards the spawn, towards the corner that's going to catch Rarga. And all the while, they're not seeing anybody on the flank. They're seeing utility be thrown through. You have the flash come out from Coconut in a moment, confirming that this is all going to be a play for the A side. They're attempting and setting up for the retake and their disrupt. So we have this flank continue from something. The benefit of this comp for a lot of people that PRX are running is going to be the fact that you have so much utility for that post plant. Oh, wrong one. There we go. And a lot of it's already being used up alongside the nade, the C's, everything is gone. They've just gotten the space and they use the Viper wall to fall back. And this is the point that you were making, Tom, about how PRX will get ahead of you when you're setting up for your retake. You're getting ready to take that site. They're disruptive. Here comes something on the flank as the whole idea from XLG is, okay, they got the plant, but they've burned their utility. We're going to take that space back, put the dog through, use the Thrash to reconfirm the space, execute deep into their lines to get ahead of whatever utility they might have left, get ahead of those post-plant positions, and something ends up with the easiest flank of his life, just locking down that double. The round's already over. Happy Way is just completely screwed with no time up against 4. And this is the problem. They lost a round because of playing a late flank, and PaperX's response was to play a late flank in the next round. Like,
Sorry guys, I don't know why my
disrespect
the
an
game's
SLG, who had no idea what was going on in their backlines till it was too late.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to what you kind of expect a team to do and what PaperX does. They are very good at, as I said, being disruptive even on their defensive side where they're getting aggressive and trying to cause you issues before you take that plant. But even in cases like this where they've got themselves into the site, they're on the attack and they're taking that space, they then have another layer that you haven't even thought of. And all of that comes down to, I think, some of the individual players having very good initiative of like when to hit those timings, when to take that space, and then also just the mid-round calling in general. Like the rest of the team is happy to sit back when you said they don't have that post-plant utility because they know that flank is coming and we don't want to make a mistake that gives up the round.
And I hope to God that, you know, Pips and Waylander Cloud, they know what they could expect. They can be a little bit more diligent with this. But it's time for the results of our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked who you think is the best Abyss team at Champs, and you guys are trolling because you voted for Fnatic.
We should have just added Boaster as an option. I don't have his own option.
I think this is a little bit, I think it's the fans just liking Boaster.
And the thing is, I look at DRX and their comp and I say, they're going to do this in every game. This is going to be difficult for any team to play against. Do I think Boaster's going to hit that level in every game they play?
Yes.
Absolutely. EMEA all the way, baby. Fnatic in the finals. I can't wait.
But I do think that we can't predict the future, so who knows? Maybe we have to get DRX versus Fnatic on Abyss to settle it. Who knows?
I'd be down.
Who knows? I will be super down as well, and I'm also super down to see what we predicted for today. This is one of the harder ones for me because, you know, I'm always gonna predict PaperX, but I was hovering over the GX button for hours. I was going back and forth. What do I do? What do I do? I ended up going, of course, with my head and my heart.
Ooh, I just
hope. If it was GX versus anyone else, maybe not.
They go against DRX, I hope.
I would have gone with GX.
Listen, as the
comment down below which team do you think
I decided to give everybody
will
a
pick
chance to
PaperX
catch up,
in match up with?
That's my NRG pick.
I'm terrified.
GX, I'm locked in, and I'm certain that I've got the
I
right
have the same
answer.
picks as Bren. That can't go well.
Yeah, that's not looking good for you, Chief. That is not looking good for you.
Yeah, don't worry. But Mitch and I witnessed this. You know, you went first. He copied you.
Mine technically should be 4 and 4. That's all I'm saying. I sacrificed one of my pick'ems intentionally.
Yeah, NRG. I think we both. Where did you go for NRG? You didn't go DRX, right?
I didn't go DRX.
Why did you go NRG?
I think NRG have a better map pool to fall back on, and DRX right now, like they showed a lot of promise, but I'm not fully bought in just yet.
Again, that was like a bit of a. I was sort of straddling the lines a little bit, but I think after seeing NRG, it's really hard to doubt them. But unless you're named Tombis.
And unless you're me.
Yeah.
I just loved the Waylay Yoru stuff. And like, they've only played it on 2 maps. So you look at their past sort of stuff that we've seen so far, you can't really judge because it seems like they've completely reinvented themselves coming into this tournament. So from what I saw, I really enjoyed it.
I'm just really happy I got away with my BS answer of the map pool being better, which the real reason is double Odin, honestly. I was like, NRG, I like what you're doing. I like the style.
I like the Doden. What about a Troden? I think
a Troden could work.
A Doden is like fine, you know, 2 Odins, you know, you got my attention.
Yeah.
But give me a Troden.
Oh.
Yeah, what is stopping them from running 3 Odins?
What's that after that? Quoden?
Yeah, Quoden.
No, that's too far, Tom. All right,
sorry, that's ridiculous.
I think you're taking the mic.
4 Odins.
One outlaw as well.
You need an outlaw and a judge. Come on.
Yeah, I also think being sort of living in a scenario where on the first day of qualification, the 2 teams we send to playoffs could potentially be NRG and Giant X is insane. I definitely couldn't have seen that coming. I don't know about you guys.
Especially, for GX, if you did, you're kind of mad because they've never made it to playoffs before. So it could be their first time ever, and I'm very excited to see if that's true.
Me too. The doors to Champions playoff stands half open, but will it be PaperX, Giant X, DRX, or NRG who push through and take the next step to the trophy? It is time to find out.
Let's go. Let's go. We are starting now.
It's been since 2023 since I've been on the champ stage. Feels good to be here. Definitely feel like we all earned it. We're gonna make this one count.
And NRG vindicate themselves in this match against your reigning world champions.
Now that we have the first match jitters out the way, you'll see an even stronger energy.
We're just coming into this tournament sort of like an underdog feeling, which makes like less pressure when we play the games. Our performance on stage 2 was not a very good showing. In Champions, I think we can show a very different version of DRX.
Hey, freaking.
To take down DRX, I think mainly all 7 of us follow our protocols. Everyday grinding is just meant for this moment. So as long as we don't crumble under the pressure, we'll be fine.
I believe Energy is like a really great teamwork type of team. When we go against them, I think it's just a matter of who aims better that day and who just plays together as a team that day. I'm starting to feel like the same feeling that when we won kickoff, so I think if we just keep on going, then we will be able to win out.
Yep. Hello now.
Champions, for me, this is the moment when you come here and you know that you will face best of the best.
Sentinels completely neutralized.
And this is the time where you can prove you reached out here with certain work that you put, and the amount of the time that you put into the game is paying back.
It means a lot to back to the champions. It's give us a lot of confidence since we won our first trophy in Toronto.
PRX,
Master forever champion.
We still have a lot of drive to win champions.
PRX, we played many teams like this, super aggressive, super fast, the double duelist. So we are kind of prepared for this, and I think it's gonna be a good game.
EMEA overall as a region, they are quite methodic and quite structured, the way how they're playing. I'm trying to adjust myself, how I wanna be aggressive versus them and what timings I wanna push and stuff I wanna pick.
We have nothing to lose because we are gonna be probably 100% underdogs, right? If they will start losing against us, they will start to feel some pressure on them, because how can you lose to a team that have 3 rookies?
That's true.
Since we are PRX and we are in good form, good luck on the server, of course we're gonna need it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Giant X versus
PRX. Wait, on the is it? Yeah.
Qualification to playoffs, a chance is on the line, and it is the team
Predictions.
that everybody expected to be here versus the team I don't think anyone expected to be here. But you heard it in that trailer. GX, they're hungry, they know they are the rookies, and sometimes being the underdog, at least for them so far, has been a massive benefit.
Realistically, we didn't even expect them to make the event. They made a run in the first place. Now they got to try and do it again. I don't think we're getting anything too crazy surprising. Both teams good at the sunset. I'm praying we get to that on the 3rd map. Ascendo's a bit of an interesting one because we saw some recent change.
Why did they pick Lotus again?
And they kind of dominated versus RRQ. It's a weak map for them overall and a pretty decent one for GX, but I wouldn't say that map is set in stone.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Ascent's going to be really interesting. The Vice against this Cypher is a conversation that I think a lot of people are having right now. The stopping power of Vice just looks so difficult to deal with.
We'll see how they deal on
Lotus. Potentially take out some of that utility when they move towards sites, and I think that brings a big advantage compared to what PRX are running in the Sage. The difference is, this is PRX we're talking about.
Do you think they're going to bring that comp again? Because they do. I just want to make it known for the global fans that don't, you know, watch Pacific necessarily, is that is their comp. You know, maybe some other teams have shown it since then, or they showed it first on the global stage.
By the way, Blue, have you noticed I'm wearing the old one, not the...
I I wouldn't
Not
be
the latest
surprised.
one.
I think especially when it's Jing.
But I'm
pulling
gonna
out that
get
stage,
it
I feel like it's
when
a
they
very
restock.
comfortable pick for him. It does mean that going into the map, I'm expecting it to be incredibly defense-sided. Like both teams.
Because they're like
that is
out
where
of
they
stock.
are favored.
That's right.
And with on the other side, GX playing that sort of more default comp. I think it's going to be very interesting. The other thing as well is the Lotus choice that has come out from PaperX. Overall, over the last few months, 9 and 2. Those 2 losses were in the last 2 games versus RRQ and then Zeta, which I've heard from every single member of Pacific Talent that was a blip, but they still took the L. So I'm very interested to see if they've managed to recover back to their better form.
It's such a pick your poison though, right?
And this feels more comfortable than the other ones, honestly.
Lotus is coming.
Like, it's more
I'm
softer.
most excited for Sunset because maybe it's me coping, but I think that is an even playground for both teams.
100%. Well, they both picked it in their last series.
Yeah.
They both dominated their opposition, and let's not forget, GX was against Sentinels. That's a big statement from them. I hope we get to a map 3 because we deserve it in this series. GX have played almost double the regular season, the stage 2 games that PaperX have. They've got the reps. They know what went wrong back then. They've come into this tournament. They look more individually dominant than we've seen throughout the regular season, and week on week they've been playing better Valorant. I think this is going to be a challenge for PaperX, but more so I look to GX, I look to Ara, a guy who started out the season on a low point. He has really built on that every single game, but this is the one game that he cannot go missing in.
Yeah, let's take a look at Agent Select here. My eyes actually go towards
Dude,
Flickers
let's see.
because I truly believe he is a phenomenal KO player.
He was going to be my highlight.
Interesting. Vice and Siege. I mean, Siege, okay.
His team memes them sometime, but also the timing of the knife, especially on that defensive side, is going to be integral. Starting off on the attack, though, a lot of the focal point does come more so onto Ara. Like, is this guy going to be set up to be in that space? And so that combo of Flickers and
GX
Ara
running
needs to be on
double
point, especially
in the
with the sheer amount of delay the PaperX have.
over
You
and
need some of
KO.
that utility
Okay.
removed. If you're hitting a site and it's all
Oh,
online,
they really
you're
locked
in
in.
trouble.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're coming into a game and looking at Flickless and saying, well, his utility's got to be on point, that's a pretty safe bet. The guy was unbelievable. For me, at least, just at an eye test, I'm not using stats or anything, just watching the damn game. Flickless, I think, is the best utility in all of the MEA.
Yeah, and more importantly, the age-old question, what's better, a dinosaur or a giant? Here's Uber and Wyatt to answer that.
A dinosaur, of course.
Sure, yeah, one of the more compelling questions. Keeps me up at night. They might have giant in the name, but MEA's number 2 seed are definitely the David in this David versus Goliath matchup. It's PRX. We know what we get from these guys, and what we get is up-tempo, fast-paced, audacious, in-your-face.
What do you think, Blue?
I'm excited.
A giant or a dinosaur?
Stylistically, I think GX are coming into this tournament, for me, as maybe even the most interesting EMEA team, certainly as far as how they play like their defensive sides, you know, how they run so many aggro set strats.
Alright,
against
let's go into
PRX,
this.
Who are probably the most unique team of all time in Valorant. I think this should make for a very interesting stylistic game. Going to be GX on the attack side to start us off, and already Ara's gotten himself pretty deep up mid.
Or something, survive.
Returns the flash, and now for contact is just too good. What an opener!
Let's
Talk
go.
about wind taken out of the sails for GX. Spike dropped in mid, and Cloud and Westside trembling hands to pick up the pieces. Yeah, something pretty much just continuing the reign of
But you
terror
saw
that's been on
something?
throughout stage 2 until now, and one of the absolute peaks
Ah.
of his career at the moment. Forsaken caught
Imagine.
a tad bit too adventurous, perhaps, in mid. So the tiniest of openings for GX, the PaperX are ready to just flood onto the.
Oh, get the ace.
Ace. For the
Ace.
boy, jump, bounce, just like Bambi.
Ah.
Oh, look at what he came for. Pistol round ace for something. And PRX start out with a very nice little burst of confidence. And this is why PRX can get away with such ridiculous stuff, Wyatt. They have this individual talent. I feel like it's rarely seen at this level. Absolutely not. It's just across the entire team. They're all capable of this, but genuinely though, yeah, something's formed at the moment.
Something's the goat now.
He's been utterly outrageous, even for his standards. Feels like he's hitting a real career high at the perfect time right now, heading into Champions.
That 1v2 clutch with the off on bind against Sheila Gaming had my jaw on the floor. The guy is ridiculous.
And he gets away with 1 HP under a lot of pressure there with the Judge. That 0 point connects onto a couple players, so a good paranoia is sent in. Divide so weak on account of Aura.
Still having to fight for a spot. Patman having trouble digging him out of Switcher.
Yeah, that was some pretty solid util actually from GX to get back in there with a 0 point into the Paranoia. Couple kills. They're going to get the spike down. A low HP for West Side. He has picked up that stinger. Definitely needs to play close range. Wants to play a flash even, but
pretty isolated there, Flickless, without an opportunity to actually get involved. And now that slow orb will make it difficult for him to work his way back out. Defuse here for PRX, and important weapons will be maintained. We're going to have a switch up of our diffuser here briefly as Jing gets off, something gets on, working towards a very early dimensional drift for the Yoru.
Just going to one orb away. Nice that something goes down to 1 HP, but then gets a heal with Jing, so he can just go run it Flickless with a judge. Go for part 2. GX fans hoping that first round.
But do you see something skill?
The next 11 rounds to come for PRX. This is such a challenge for GX. I mean, they're off the back right now of the biggest win of the career in these players' history. Genuinely beating Sen in that first round. I'm so impressed by the level of play they were at. PRX, whole different beast though.
But they have to fight PRX for this space, Wyatt. They've got great set plays, they're really well drilled. That's something that stands them in good stead to tip the scales in their favor.
Device able to throw down a pretty deep shear wall in B main. And when you're not feeling that pressure, you can kind of just go for the jump with it, throw it down deep, and then back away. PRX are doubled up here on Cat, and something still with the judge. And while there was that sound bait coming through from Jing, he was just kind of tapping, trying to make a little bit of a distraction.
Slow start here for GX. Now they've sort of decelerated through mid a little bit with an out drone, this time clearing market. They do not want to run into a judge in that corner or someone else. Patman with a shoulder pick. Ara sees an opportunity to come forward, but actually... Devi knocks him down to 20 as well from Switch.
That is a lot of damage exchanged. Grabino does have that full kit available at the moment, Paranoia, so the team can try to get into tree, but I'm not even sure they're aware they're walled off until they're going to get much closer here. Wall about to break, though. 3 PRX players expecting this to come through, though.
They're going to fly out of this. What a setup. PRX, for God's sake. You know they're not going to sit here and let you pass them by. Paranoia thrown out. Jing's able to capitalize. Ara very low. Strong wind to blow him over and for more than just hot air. Here's Grabino. Has to walk up onto the A side. But a smoke in his way. Spike on the other side of tree. With 12 seconds left. He knows he might need to batten the hatches here and just try and survive.
Only option at this point in the round. The way that PRX maneuvered the map there was so lovely. Late into that round, they insert something with that judge close up in B main. The rest of the players on that sort of B mid side, they pivot over towards tree. Reading that GX, we're going to try to go for an A split up Cat when that wall expires. As soon as they start making noise there were 3 PRX players ready to go. Paranoia, and then initially, it's just the run and gun from Jing. Patman able to trade off, swinging with the Phantom. Really lovely round for PRX. They convert the bonus.
This team surrendered only 1 defense side round over to RRQ in that Pacific matchup, in that final. They were so dominant on this defense side. Some wine position taken up this time by Forsaken. Again, PRX ready to fight for this space.
And the second GX activate, they could get hit by slow orbs from Jing. Yep, there. That one's gonna go down, but Aura gets ahead of it. Lovely Paranoia. Again, there's been some good util setup for GX. Unfortunately, it's just come on eco round so far.
Blown out first. Jing flattened by West Side. Always good with the Sheriff, and now into the site. GX are swarming over it.
That was just alert to Cat, I believe. Something stops the plant, though. Very low on HP. A lot of danger. He's got to back up just a bit.
Yep, this buys time for a check.
Man.
Does not allow further passage. Are able to hold it down here from A-Main, and look at this wrap from something. Look at the gate crashes.
He has flanked so quickly. I do not think Cloud is going to expect this whatsoever.
Initially, he was just checking mid in case there was a late flank. Now, though, he stepped up. What an angle! Ara, though, has the presence of mind to check for it. A massive thrifty here for GX.
And just what I mean by something, I mean the ace, the first round.
Slow from Jing came a little bit too late. And a couple rounds now, we have seen Grabino throw out a Paranoia at a great time, and Aura able to capitalize. It happened on just the round 2 eco, so they weren't able to convert. They didn't have the weapons, but here Aura had a hero rifle, so he gets in. He gets that first. West Side flanks through Cat, gets that pick. Super well done.
Westside pretty terrifying with the Sheriff in hand. That was something showcased extensively against Sentinels. PRX falter slightly here. Money such that, though, they can continue to make a buy. Because they can eventually stave off a mid where 4 players for GX taking up shop.
He's picked up the op. Oh my god, Westside. Those are the kind of shots he hits with some crazy consistency. Just the good crosshair placement, fast reaction shots.
And he didn't have to be firing against Sentinels. The rest of his team were doing so well, but now it's a great opportunity to step up and show that individual skill. Shorty here for Ara. Inside the smoke, and it does its job. Forsaken is dealt with now quickly, trying to double back around on the side. Digging out that last defender. Divide in the corner. Only going to be able to find his one. Batman kept off the fight and smoke towards defender spawn.
And now that remaining PRX duo, they're just forced to save. GX have really played with a lot of high tempo early rounds on these last couple, and it has paid off. It's resulted in early picks. Something going for that aggro play in B main, immediately dealt with.
But do you see the second round?
And then the exec onto the site really accelerated.
I'm guessing not also.
The timing into the smoke. The device just left on site alone.
Okay, you did. Okay.
GX have done a nice job catching out PaperX.
But once this is done, you just go back all the way to round 1. You see what happened. Oh, you can see by YouTube, yeah.
Definitely want to highlight here early.
Because this is going to be on YouTube.
Paranoia setups though have been excellent. Now PRX got to be a bit more respectful off the rip here. That was a early presence by Forsaken over towards Catwalk that was punished. There was some spam through, and then a push off of that B side.
Look at, I mean, something barely even got around the corner.
Oh, did you not see that?
Aura beats timing for Forsaken into the smoke. I like that from him. It's a calculated risk. Pays off.
There are similarities between how these two teams played the defense side. I think GX almost see a reflection of themselves in some of these info pushes and this proactivity from PRX.
So PaperX investing into this round a fair bit around the 2 guns that were saved. Of course, if they lose, they'll have that 3-round max out loss bonus. But something picks up the Judge on account of having that dimensional drift. And they have the Hunter's Fury to combo with it. So that could be very potent if used at the right time. Getting Hunter's Fury's tags, but then also in the chaos.
No, Patman, back up.
On someone.
Something also back up.
PRX insisting on some mid control with a smoke at tiles that just gets walked up through by GX. They've been able to drift over towards that catwalk position, but now 2 players taken up in tree. Let's see if Forsaken play back towards the site a little bit.
Something's going to be bombarded.
See PRX fight if there is a push off catwalk. Refresh that one way at A main. Forsaken trying to imply some main presence. Hoping to funnel elsewhere. But GX are unperturbed so far.
Oh, no. That trap is going to be... He's going to fail. He's going to fail.
We do have a drone from Cloud that could be used to clear through it. Yeah, that is going to be the maneuver. And now Paranoia immediately going to at least stall GX up. Something getting close with this Judge. Right into main.
Oh.
Ara has to be mindful of this. Check close is going to be important. There it is. Okay, 0 point comes in, but something just steps back. He doesn't have the gate crash out, and then opts to step forward. Cloud now with a Hunter's Fury, Forsaken avoiding for the time being. Does get pinged out by the second shot. Goes forward, doesn't matter. He handles Grabinho. He handles him up close. Now that tree control is there for PRX. GX, though, forcing it on the site. They got Gen presence. Patman got an owl in. Spots that A main player.
Cloud crossing to Wine. Door went down at the perfect time. No one for PaperX having the opportunity to flood in because of it. But now with the man advantage trying to press through Catwalk. Issue being Forsaken has to close the gap with the Judge at some point. There's one Sheriff. Weaponry better for GX.
But Chris has a room to clear the dart, but they know he's there. It doesn't seem to matter. Here is the null command that comes out. It's Devi and Jing that have to fight through it. Now there's no other choice for it. From upper, Westside finds yet another. It's on Jing. Suppressed, knows Cloud is likely in A main and sends his crosshair in that direction. Drops down, tries to isolate the 1 versus 1s. The Flickless will not be shifted. And GX have even upped the game.
So difficult to get a kill on the drop like that. Lovely shooting from Flickless. That initial one onto Cat. Tight angle was really clean. I like that decision to use the Hunter's Fury just straight away from Cloud when they got the position on something, and because he was hit by that 0 point, then he just feels pressured. Oh, I gotta do something. Goes into the open, he's scrambling. Gets shot down, and then again, it's GX. They pick up the pace nicely after that.
Pinging out 2 players of that Hunter's Fury was pretty big. I think Forsaken ate the 2nd and 3rd bolts from it.
I mean, yeah, if Forsaken gets that crazy kill in the smoke, because it was just such a chaotic situation for Grabinho to try to figure out. But yeah, he took so much damage. GX set up well in the post flank.
PRX always trying to arrange their pieces
to have like at least decent numbers for these GX pushes. We see Jing trying to refresh that one way to A main, hoping to funnel GX through towards Tree. But GX had their own gameplay and they're confident. They owl drone in. There's a paranoia straight away just to try and deny any direct follow-up right behind that owl drone. A fast play gets shut down, but in the end, there's so much to work with. Null Command, Hunter's Fury, both committed to that engagement. And it pays off for GX. Hard-fought attack side rounds, White. They've evened things up.
Yeah, and PRX, they did make a pretty big investment into that last round, right? So they can get a meager bit of a half buy going. Looks like something not going to commit any cash here, so you can buy the operator on, this subsequent round.
Yeah, it's truly been PRX's year so far. The only thing they're missing, of course, is the cherry on top. Global title, all well and good. They're looking for that Pacific World Championship. It's on the table here. This is the kind of matchup they need to kind of be dominating to give that level of confidence. Remember, the winner in this series will advance to playoffs.
PRX just hoping someone early would have gone over towards B, walked into that multi-stack of players, and it looks like now if they get a ping with this drone, they might just swing out with a few from mid.
What happened?
It's going to be Flash Dart here to follow it up. There's a lot for GX to deal with. Their hands are kind of tied in mid, and now the push is going to come up.
Ooh.
But Cloud, comfortable enough from Catwalk, is ready to receive this, and I think PRX
Holy
have
devil, man.
underestimated
What
the level
the
of
heck?
disruption they've been able to induce. Down in Divine Forsaken. They take a classic gamble up mid, bit of a Chico vibe.
It was a cool play attempt, syncing up that paranoia, plus the flash from Yoru, plus the recon. After confirming
Blue, what
information on a player mid with the drone. Not mad at the play. Cool attempt, but yeah, ultimately GX just have way better guns.
Cloud also had turned the flash and someone else shot the dart for him, so he had his crosshair positioned correctly and was ready to fight. Some stall here, of course, on this belated attempted B. The sheer wall has to be respected. That will be drawn out now. Gets Westside at least over to logs.
Sank it and anchoring pretty deep in the site, but now all alone and dealt with perfectly clean, flawless round from GX. Come on, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I was the only one. After those first 3 rounds, when PRX converted the bonus, I was worried. I was worried that they were going to begin to run away with the game, but then GX eco them back. 4-round run. They're looking really good right now. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and maybe it's what the players had been mentioning before this game of we don't really feel pressure. We're GX. People didn't even think we were going to be here. We're going up against the best team in the world, the reigning champions from Toronto. We have 3 rookies. We don't have any pressure. We're huge underdogs.
Divide trying to hold close here. It's going to be a steel garden thrown out. Ara already got himself over towards that spawn side. Not a lot to see there. Somehow Cloud is all the way back there. What a wrap here from Forsaken. TP obviously gets himself in a position now to harry them from defense spawn. From the attack side even. And so Grabinho never really got to set foot on this B site at all.
What a crazy counterplay from Forsaken to just disrupt the plans of GX entirely. I mean, look at the X's on the map right now of where the dead GX players are. It's like in the spawn of the defenders damn near.
It's like we used to see Jing do on Icebox. Same idea, right? That TP into spawn. Smoke assisted though on Icebox in fairness. This guy just rips it. Love that from Forsaken. And on the other end, right, it's a steel garden that definitely slows GX up. So it puts them on a real clock when there's an Omen player teleporting into this
just pushes them into Forsaken. That was a crazy little scenario.
Yeah, like Ara got ahead of it, right, but not in a position to be sort of followed up on it all. It was a PRX round of all rounds, for sure. Grabinho loves that spot. So does Boaster, by the way. That little TP on the box of top mid. Nothing to be gained from there right now. It's actually pretty deep dark cover thrown out here by GX.
Something has this operator was saving for on one of the prior rounds, controlling mid at the moment. As GX currently setting up for a split into this B site. Patman ready to let that recon go once they get through the choke point. So they can try to spam some of these players down from back site through Boathouse.
Oh, that is dirty. Ara is so close. And there's a noise cut in mid. Or rather, PRX don't see GX as they pull out of that part of the map and leave the insert. Something's back in the game, and Ara might have something to say about it, but the slow orb meant there's no direct follow-up on that res attempt. It's Cloud falling. Divine getting control from stairs here. Caught inside the fragment, and Gravino's got the follow-up now. Patman has to fight for himself inside Boathouse. Chucked down, still gets the kill. And now Dimensional Drift is going to get something into the site, but he's holding nothing but an operator. Jing can also work out from spawn as well. There's Westside. Damn, he's been good today. Very sharp, and Jing should wait a moment. He's got something with him now. Seen this guy retake 1v2 with an op. He's got Jing to help him this time. Flickless watching Speedway, though Jing's going to have to be quick with this adjustment, and he is.
Right.
So much so he doesn't take any damage. Westside now under pressure, shot through the wall, and something alights with the shorty.
Nice.
Hard fought round for PRX, but they'll take it.
Beautiful attempt from Westside. Just feels at the very end he needs to adjust the positioning, and it's something right on top of him with that shorty. Fast for the trade. This was an insane little shot from Aura to open the roundup. Look at that from something's point of view. The second he checks that left side, Aura is right out there.
Sick two-piece there from Westside. For me, it's Jing being able to get that correction of aim onto the plant spot.
And having the res available in mid, just bring it right back to the 5-on-5.
Yeah, it kind of negates all of Ara's patience, just staying as that insert in mid.
Super important round to use it. And that was onto something who then has the Dimensional Drift to follow up into the site.
But that'll condition PRX now. That deep smoke into mid could imply an insert being left behind by GX for later in the round.
Westside with that cam. Does get something up Patman, and something that time, a bit of vengeance onto Aura.
There we go.
The duelist entry, the space.
This is something I know.
Trying to hit one of these ascent sites.
Yeah, man.
This is going to be really difficult for GX from here on out, especially if they go towards that setup with the Vice. You're just going to get your team fully stalled out by the Thorns. If you go into the Sage, one slow orb, no one can get past it. You're all just trapped. Maybe Gravino can try to go for some kind of crazy TP, but outside of that, not a lot of options.
There's a sheer wall inside tree. Something can play off that after trying to take a pick.
And that did turn
Oh, he's dead, buddy.
The Vice Util for but a moment. No one is able to, it's not really a play to be made off of it.
I'm surprised he didn't push in.
Down mid, look at this double face that's been set up randomly by PX. They've just assembled this in response. That deep smoke's there again, and all Cloud spammed out just as the smoke bloomed. Flickless fortunate to get across. He can play off his player in B main, but it's a Sage wall there to play with.
There are rotates being drawn for PRX, aside from the fact that Jing is just entrenched near the corner. What a transfer.
That is disgusting. And again, Jing with the crucial frags. Knock the wheels up the
Gee, that's great.
GX had a really cool game plan there, honestly. Grabinho was working through A main. He found a pick. If you looked at the top of the minimap, everyone from PaperX, after he got that kill, were being dragged towards A. It was just Jing who was fully committed to that site.
30 seconds.
If he even goes 1-for-1, Grabino's teleporting back. Obviously, still a horrific position for GX, but I think they had a cool game plan that is just ultimately unraveled because Jing
was doing
together
12
a
kills.
really sick multi-kill.
Remember that solo hold for Jing with the wall sets up the double face in mid for that spam kill. So sick.
Wow, Paranoia straight away catches everyone. Slow orb as well. Oh my god, this is miserable.
Doesn't know where to be. Here comes the shot dart.
1-for-1.
Patman's got another one where that came from. Grabino would love to get up on the corner, but Jing has been felled.
Everyone on GX side from West side just damaged up. Him now too from the spam. They are all so weak. Sold out. Double flash.
But Paranoid to get them on the speedway here. Patman respects it though. Tries to fold away. Forsaken TP out in the open. Apparently Flickless punishes. What is an L command? This is dangerous here. That util turned off. Patman has to fight out the old-fashioned way, and that is beautifully done, but Westside will be waiting. Look how low he and Flickless are. By no means a sure thing for GX. And it's up to Divider, dig them out. Flickless low drifts across the side. Westside will be set up on the speedway. Drop down onto the side and wins it out. 12 and 8 for Westside.
Oh my god, man, he is on one right now.
What?
The crosshair placement is just excellent in these fights, and he is so quick with the reactions. By the way, though, beautiful kill from Flickless. That one right there onto Forsaken, the highest impact kill.
What was Batman doing, bro?
Opens up the site. Westside clutches up.
Okay, that's only DEFCON 5 for Alex.
Yeah, I can.
We're doing fine.
Yep, Alex, I can feel your pain.
Remember, they throw that neural theft in and then immediately Paranoia Speedway. They're very keen to get onto this
And it
side.
was synced up with a flash from the KO. Insta just pop out. That was with all 4 players so weak. stuck in the choke for ages at that point.
There's
And
just
they
a
still make
symphony
it
of
work.
util lined up. These set plays for GX, man, are so clean.
That's what has really impressed me about them on both attack and defense, on their executes. The sequencing of their util and timings, so tight compared to the competition.
And that contrasted with PRX's just innate talent, ability to flood like no other team. A little bit of a difference of styles there.
Ooh.
Paranoid mistaken.
No.
Comes in Jen's direction, and Nara now is above him, not ready for Forsaken to be crouched, perched from below.
Yes.
Something gets in and then gets straight on now.
Come on, something. I mean,
there's Artist Fury
yeah.
here from
Okay,
the Heaven's
nice.
side. As Forsaken's ready to get
Oh wait, that was not something. That was Batman.
on the side itself. Cloud barely
Ooh,
alive. Jinx with out of his misery
yes.
now. It's on Flickless.
Something. Flash him.
Yeah.
Rolled by something.
What an outstanding flood from PaperX, and this is the exact kind of fun pace that I wanted to see in a PRX versus GX games. Two teams that are highly coordinated and willing to absolutely send it on the opponents.
I mean, PRX are the team that are going to force you, they're going to drag you to pay at that fast pace, right? You will need to compete for timings, fight aggressively over this space, but GX are happy to do with that because they've got such sick prep, such a good foundation of set plays on this map. They will go to that gear. Let's have a break here at halftime. Standing over to the stage, Lou is standing by with a very special
That was a
guest.
good match. I mean, good halftime so
Et
far.
pour un jour de semaine, on est ravis de voir pas mal de fans de Giant X ici à nos côtés. It's a pleasure to welcome Elise with me, who's a GX fan here. Welcome, first of all. And the first question I wanted to ask you is, you're rocking, that T-shirt and the jersey. How does it feel, to have GX fans here in Paris, despite the French and Spanish rivalry?
It's so cool to see everyone here rooting for GX, and I think you are too, right?
I'm an EMEA girly, but never biased, guys, never biased, of course. Donc, première question, qu'est-ce que ça fait finalement d'avoir des fans français?
Not gonna lie, this interviewer is pretty. Not
Eh
gonna
ben,
lie.
c'est trop cool. On a évidemment l'ambiance ici et on a peut-être une hausse qui est un petit peu biaisée pour l'EMEA, mais jamais trop. And second question, we know that the season has been hard for GX. No one was expecting them, at champs, and yet here they are. So what is your advice for fans, who struggle to follow their team in hard times?
Well, you just have to believe in your team, really. And they had such a great run on stage 2. It was really nice. And seeing them putting up a
Well,
fight
she said it's
against
true.
PRX
Believe in the
is so
team.
nice.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that. Donc un petit conseil peut-être, c'était dur la saison pour GX, ils sont remontés de loin, et bah oui, il faut continuer de croire en sa team, ils sont remontés pendant le stage 2 et ils ont une vraie belle run. So let's see if the fan buff can carry GX on Ascent.
And honestly, I think there are more and more GX fans being made by the moment. They've been looking very, very good. Standing
What's
up
your
against
favorite
the most
kill
terrifying team in
at this point
the
right now,
world.
since you're watching this?
And this
What's
guy
your
is a
favorite
big part
kill?
of that. I suspect something here at the highlight for your Coinbase Econ report at 63.5. Just pure audacity. I think he's 7-0 at the start of the game. He does slow down. He goes, 14-7 after that fact, but obviously always in the engine room for PRX.
I'm keeping that rating high while purchasing 3 ops as well. That's, I think, kind of the standout part for me. Was getting a lot of value with those late. Some of the shotguns, too, had some great dimensional drifts. But, yeah, something right now looking like the best player for PaperX up until this point versus Westside for GX, whose aim right now is also just unreal.
It's crazy. We saw GX on the attack side, but in these post plants, Westside is...
Shorty Q. Oh, that's something. That's something. You mean the one where on site then he flashed then kill? Oh yeah. That's something.
Yeah, and speaking of, it looks like GX maybe wanting to go for a fast play down mid early with some of these flashes. Perhaps synced up or just a deep flash. No, it's just going to be a straight up contact down. They've got some sheriffs.
That's something.
That good long range. Matter of fact, they have 4 sheriffs just across the board. There's a lot of classics and at least some armor. So
I think PRX have sniffed this out. They realize something is afoot behind them. So now they'll accelerate now through B main. Paranoia is an option, of course. They get smoked off the B main and just walk straight through it. So tick-tock, though. GXR got to start nipping at their heels, and G might be the first to see it. He thinks about it. Timing's not quite there.
Come on.
Though, spotted out already. And there's
Batman.
Batman. Might have to do something about this Ara with the stopping power to put 2 PRX players in the dirt.
Not a lot of util to work with for PRX, just that one Paranoia for Forsaken. Can it get a good connection? Something playing up close. 2
Come on, play the
players
defense.
all the way
Defense.
back.
for the spike.
Razorvine there.
Something.
Cleared by Ara.
Ooh, right clicked.
Timing off that. What a bold play.
Gravino's also quite low as he tries to make his way onto the side. A decent 0 point now, but PRX are ready to fight for their lives in this site. Gonna be 3 players come down.
Nice one for Forsaken.
Now contains attention along with Forsaken to the rest of it. And that is a 3v5. PRX
Nice.
tucked in the site, and this is their bread and butter.
What a sick play from Something. He takes the timing to jump into the smoke off the break of the thorn. So he knows that that player's crosshair going to be down, adjusting it back up, and he's...
How did he not even die? I'm surprised.
Really cool maneuver to get them back into that 3-on-3. And then PRX doing what they do best, which is everyone fights together.
It's unspoken. It's purely instinctive from PRX in that post plant. Like the idea from GX to contact play up mid. Got them a backstab opportunity, but 2 from Ara is not enough.
It felt like it really should have been. PRX take down both pistol rounds now.
They're so proactive. Look at GX. Look how fluid they are. In motion constantly. Something that's going to fight for this, and no one shot that dart. That is very enlightening.
How did that hit all 3 of them? That was crazy.
Yeah. Now they're going to make a play off of Catwalk, but PRX are ready to fight for this space as well.
Oh my.
Heal up.
Ooh.
Gravino gets one.
Nice.
But now that leaves the A site pretty
Double
loose now.
team. Let's go.
Didn't expect Rubinho with Flickless baiting for that position, but even
Something,
still,
something.
check it out. What a shot
Ooh.
from Aura. Oh my god, GX.
Divide,
What on
divide.
earth is happening? They're just winning straight up duels, hitting crazy shots with pistols.
Divide realizes he needs to put this Vandal to work on the site itself for a retake, and he's just got around the corner. Why are you fighting? What is that? Westside with the classic.
He has the Vandal at range. I'm fine with the fight, bro. You gotta win that.
That is unreal.
I cannot believe GX are winning these fights though. Still, Forsaken.
Do not
long
fight.
range,
Do not
open angle with
fight.
the Bulldog. These guys have
Forsaken.
a combined 50 HP.
30 and 20 respectively. What on earth is that from Westside? What a filthy round from GX, man!
What the hell?
Proactive always asking for more map control. MasterCard Thrifty, I won't soon forget.
I am just stunned. I didn't see that from Westside's point of view. What was that? I mean,
I didn't
you must
see
have
that.
seen
Wait.
Forsaken's legs under the smoke or something. Well, I mean, I don't even know, man.
Dang.
Double dink long range. Westside is. It feels like it's playing.
Did you see that small little?
Westside can't miss.
Oh dang.
PRX in this game so far won both pistols, but also flip side. GX, they've won 2 eco rounds.
Yeah, 2
against them.
massive Thrifties at pretty important points in the game.
Oh.
PRX realizing that their opponents are not to be trifled with. Gravino here committed to wine and just took the swing. That has definitely put PRX off their lunch.
Aura has pressed all the way down mid to watch this B main cross with the Outlaw. Something, does he expect it? Does he go for the little jiggle? No, he is just caught out in the open. Aura smoking that angle off. The cam is watching top
Come on.
for him as well.
Man, come on.
Ara can be dug out here by Cloud. He can very easily support him through mid.
Or rather,
Maybe I
think
gotta
that
do
might
something
be
here,
thing
come
from
on.
the drone. Either way, you know, he did have support, someone able to keep eyes on top cat while Aura was in this very forward position, which he's just retaining, by the way. But he'll have that support. Here's Flickless.
Ooh.
I'm going to recheck this. So said Ara up, pop flash.
No, they're dead.
Duelist. Cloud and Flickless, though, put this one to bed.
And the 2 major things that PRX are going to have to overcome to win this out on attack, I feel, when you're playing against GX on defense, is their willingness to aggress, throw set plays at you. We've already seen on attack the way that they're able to sync up their flashes really well.
Dang, Alex wants to break the table already.
Always
Looks
going
like
for
it.
the scoped weapons, being very proficient with them. And then if you're trying to avoid those, you're going into Westside site.
Looks like
It is just not an actual
stage
cycle
6
one trick,
for
but
breaking the
plays
table.
for as much as he possibly can because he's so good on the agent, so strong at anchoring. That
If
is
I-
a test for PRX.
Already audacious early posturing from Ara up mid. Wanting to claim this space, and no one from PRX looking to challenge top mid themselves. They play to the externalities of the map.
Westside has pushed up quite far into B main, can just play this angle, try to get a headshot tap, run away back to that Cypher setup. If they chase, it's really close for him. Take some damage, definitely needs to be
Wait, what is
on
this
the
thing?
run. Do PRX try to
Oh.
accelerate to actually
Guardian
destroy the
on
backside?
spray?
Their
What the-
Archer's close on this choke. One of them just procced by that clone, destroyed by a shock afterwards.
Taking Able to bring Westside down eventually. I think he was concerned about a push up into his other tripwire. Couldn't play off it.
Something gets backside very quick off that teleport. And now GX having to play a 4-on-5 retake. Make that 3-on-4.
Spike planted.
Returns up with the operator. It's more than Forsaken can handle.
PRX have Divide very late coming through B main. I think he'll potentially be this critical factor if GX do go for the retake.
It's being smoked for. GX trying to cover that at least. Now making her way towards Switch. It's actually something back in the side, got picked off. What a flash! What a setup for Flickless. And Ara's got himself a rifle to work with now. Patman about to be swarmed. Finds the first. That was the Blade Storm now down for Ara. Divide to the rescue off a good timing and a B main gets the Speedway. Flickless now has to dance. Dodge. Duck, dip, and dive.
He's gotten it to half.
Divide over the top though is able to put him out of the game. But man, that was as close as it gets. No clean hits from PRX here. GX fighting tooth and nail.
Robinho had gotten it to half for Flick.
I'm so glad, like Patman at least tech it a little bit, then at least Divide able to get the headshot at the corner. Wait, I didn't see the replay. Wait.
And I like as well that once GX get a couple kills here, they realize, okay, one of these guys is going to be late B main. We just have to get to the site ASAP. Go forward.
Huh? Where's the...
But then Patman
just run out of time.
Yeah, Patman does a good job there, but Divide closes things out. Pretty sick round.
Still a buy for GX though. These have been very, very costly. Attack side wins for PRX. Costly as they've been though. It's a 2-round lead that's secured themselves after a very weird start to this half.
The cash for both teams looking pretty dismal after this buy, by the way. This is a very important round in that regard.
Paranoia here.
I wonder how they're gonna go through with this.
From PRX. Hunter's Fury now active and Flickless tries to step out, take the fight on his own. Grabinho will be called on as well. Ara on top of the wall. Made use of Jing's architecture to his favor.
Divide.
Down to 2 PRX.
Watch out
Need this spike recovered, but Ara's not going to leave that area for free.
Both GX players on the way. No way, Aris is looking over top. Is that it? Yeah, he's got the angle. Patman goes down. It's all on Divide in the clutch. He won it out last round, but this one, surely not, right? Too many GX players alive.
And look at them starting to encroach now, especially behind this Al drone. Ara knows he can probably play off that. Arc Rose for Divide doesn't get him enough equity in the 1 versus 3. And step by step, GX are staying alongside PRX in this race.
Ara getting some very, very high impact moments.
How could they not have seen like someone? I mean, like at least check the corner.
Leader in EMEA stage 2 for a reason. Up to 16 now, tied with something at the top of the board.
They could have at least check the corner like before pushing into the door.
Of the utmost importance that either of them had taken on. Now GX have a real opportunity to tie up this game at 9. They just have to handle a PRX eco, couple sheriffs, something, Divide with the 2 of them.
Trying to apply a pocket for themselves, that smoke forward in B main by the attackers. 0 point only spots out the Sage here.
Something going to keep control of B main.
Being happy to make noise as he runs away from B main.
Nice on this eco round though that PRX do get access to the orbs across the map, can round the world it. When we get to the next buy, they're going to have likely 4 ultimates. I mean, pretty much guaranteed Divide will at some point get a kill, go down. Either way, we'll have the Steel Garden.
GX have seen enough though to stack correctly for this eco push off PRX. A Ghost and a Sheriff's all they really got to work with now. So this Outlaw should feast. Ara gets his. Grabinho happy to stand on the site and fight, but he's down by the Ghost player. Jingo now have his hands full with the play out from Tree. Flickless belatedly brings him down. Something with a TP forward onto the side, but that spike's still loose out in main. And Flickless has no reason to leave that fairly passive position. Divide had a good hold. Crosshair placement broken. And so is the lead, PRX.
So they get those orbs, they get 4 of their ultimates ready to go. A bit of damage could have been nice, given the GX economy is not off.
Dang, Ara was so campy.
If they kept it honest and win this next round with a lot of ults, they could have gotten control of the game back. But hey, even still, they'll be happy to just get to this gun round with the ults they've got. Timeout called from Alex now.
Okay.
Cooking up the game
Bye bye. You can watch the rest of my the rest of the match on YouTube. Yeah. Either my channel or the official one.
Earlier on in their eco, all but the Hunter's Fury at the ready. That means, of course,
Hope we win.
Drift, there's a res there if needed, and a Steel Garden for these side hits. It's a big point of contention, I think, between the Cypher and Vice choice on this particular map. And you can see that frustration here for Alex because PRX are being disrupted frequently by GX. They are very fluid on the defense side. You watch them, they look like a kicked anthill, even early in the round. Always repositioning, always establishing control of the map, re-clearing in 2s and 3s, just drifting back and forth. Tough for PRX to put their thumb on them, and honestly, GX are stalling well enough to make sure they've got a decent shot at these holes, right? They don't want to play off sites for post parts. They want to get in an anchor and they want to throw down. Bloody hell. I mean, Gromino sat inside Jing's smoke that he tries to, or rather Forsaken smoke that he tries to TP into. These guys are not giving any ground.
Just uses that as his own anchor smoke, basically. All right, what is the plan here for GX with a few players towards mid? They've been doubling up Gromino, Flickless towards Cat early round a lot.
This goes here.
Do they try to go for something proactive on a round where they know PaperX will have some kind of big ult play in, as the idea? And yeah, they do. I think that's a good move. Try to do something to disrupt the plan that Alex has just provided to the team. And the timeout!
They walked into it. This is not the first time we've seen this push up in the mid for GX.
Corbino can stay pretty damn aggro because he can teleport whenever he wants. Yeah, he's just going to do that now after getting the first kill. Safe line, but they've got the advantage. Just get out. It's totally fine, right?
Gate crash at home, really.
Smoke off, so the res can come through onto something. That's one ultimate expended for PaperX. Very important one, obviously. So, though it always feels bad that your opening kill amounts to effectively nothing, hey, you got a crucial ult out of PaperX, so...
But that's your early mid-control smoke burn.
Who's next?
By Forsaken.
And now an immediate pivot to B main, where this dimensional drift will be used by something. You will soon learn that the B site is
absolutely
free for the taking. PaperX can maneuver their way in, and will be headed towards just a big 5-on-5 retake, in which Devi has the Steel Garden ready to go, but Morgan not smoked off. Patman, Cotton, GX, it looks like they want to accelerate.
They don't have the smoke because they had to use it in order to get the res up land. Already PRX's util is being taxed before they even hit this B site. The slow warp, though, towards defense side spawn denies any anchor, any fight for space for GX. They have to play retake now.
PaperX will have to get a really good timing out of B main. They have two players there right now. Paranoia into the Steel Garden. It looks like they want to fight.
It's timely.
No, they're going to take it slow.
Devi and something opt to just stay in B main, just to ratchet the suspense up to 10. Primary's now going to be available. Devi tries to swing off that with Edge. West side inside the fight. Flick this down. Guarino finds his. And GX! Unreal! Gladiators inside this B site. A hard-fought round that gets them the lead.
What a retake. That is astounding from GX. They open it with this kill, trade it for the res, sure. But then from there, in the site, West side just deletes both anchors.
Enemy remaining.
He is in outrageous form at the moment. PaperX were fully divided 2 and 2, 2 B main, 2 on site. I mean, Alex is questioning why they're so stacked up in main. They get the Paranoia with the Steel Garden out, but they can't really do much off of it because they're smoked off. But even still, that just caused so much delay that it felt like that would be enough. If Westside gets traded on, they probably lose the round. He kills both of them. But how does he do that?
PRX never had market control. So those two players inside B main that were smoked off, you could swing that out into the Steel Garden and fight for it. But you don't know if Ara is still sat in market. You don't know if there's still someone there that can punish that kind of play, and you have limited info about who is in the site. There's no recon left available. And PRX actually look reluctant in that round to go aggressive. They do, in fairness, identify the risks of pushing a smoke when you don't have the info on the other side, but they have to spend this random smoke from Forsaken early in the round to get something back in the game, and they don't have it available to cover the B side adequately when they hit it. And normally that's fine, because they got a dimensional drift that gets them in there and gets them the info. But no one shuts the door. They have one smoke, I think, towards defense spawn, and they've got to go. They've got to take that risk.
And GX really played to their out, which was, just fighting earlier, trying to apply pressure earlier, getting that kill when they were crossing. Because if they do go into a situation where it's just a straight-up 5-on-5 retake, and they have to contend with the ults, they're in a terrible position, right? That's going to be really challenging.
Ara there, just making sure his connections are all good. Best of our understanding, it was...
Certainly seemed all good.
Yeah, no,
given he's
20 and 12.
On one. I mean, he had some impressive maps against Sentinels. That last Haven map, he was the top performer there. But this is a totally different level right now.
You can see just how much he thrives under this really diligent application of util to set him up. And that's the second time now we've seen GX, in that prior round send 2 people up mid, 2 people off catwalk. That's definitely set play that they've been leaning on fairly heavily. And a PRX, I don't know, don't have a player tiles, or don't have any mid presence at the start of the round. That is quite punishable. But that round, that was the round that PRX invested Dimensional Drift. The Resurrect obviously was drawn out there earlier on. Steel Guarded was used. It was a round that they really pinned their hopes on. And for that to go up in smoke, you absolutely need to get in the boys' ears and sort something out here. This looked like a tech pause for Gear. We'll be getting our ready checks in just a moment, and we'll be off with round 20.
Coming back into this, PRX just going to be forced into a half-buy situation. The economy has been pretty tough for both teams throughout most of this half. So now GX, with a string of rounds, have a couple capped out players with the money. They are in position to take down their map pick. One we haven't seen from PRX much at all in this last stage. In fact, it was only in their most recent outing where they beat RRQ in the grand finals. For GX, a map that they've had some success on, a couple losses as well. But of course, both these teams, home map being Sunset, neither of them really wanting to waste their pick on it in a way, so they just allow it to float into that final position. And if we get there, that should be an absolute banger game. Both these teams on that map are unbelievable to watch.
We had, of course, a keyboard change there for Ara. I just feel like he needs some LEDs in his life. I respect that. It's very late 2010s gamer coded, but I'm here for it. We're bringing it back. 4 Stingers here for PRX. Are GX the kind of team that are going to be surprised by this? I feel no.
No, I mean, the money was good enough that, there's going to be a half by some level, right? So they'll certainly be ready for that. It's just so important, again, to note as we get back into this, that round loss for PRX on the prior one. They used 3 ultimates, 3 of them. Res, Steel Garden, Dimensional Drift. GX, no commitment. They have Hunter's Fury and the Null Command. When we get into the buy round after this, PRX would love to, at the very least, force them to use those ults on a round here where they've bought Stingers. That would be a solid consolation prize.
Look at this dynamic setup here for GX. Now into mid. Ara is now taking that timing, taking that map control. Confident that he can post up here and look towards tiles. It's going to be a fast hit coming from B main. Ara is going to try and wrap around pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken. Westside, though, just, flat with all this.
Oh, come on.
And Cloud comes to the rescue. These guys, man, it is against Stingers in fairness. But they have got each other's backs for real. Forsaken is to fight inside the site under the effects of his Null Command. Can't make use of any of that util. And Ara pops him.
So that is one ultimate expended for the sake of GX to win that round. Can't blame them for using it. Those side anchors were under a hell of a lot of pressure. With the teleport right on top of Westside, the Cloud had his back.
Westside was done, the Cloud is not ready for that.
And then again, just look at the way he gets on that angle and the crouch to keep the crosshair on the headshot angle. He is a crazy good anchor.
GX already emerging as one of the most compelling stories of this Valorant Champions 2025. 3 rookies, taking it currently to
wow,
what many would consider the best.
Push straight away, but PRX are ready.
Yes.
Hunter's Fury a bit too late.
Tiles Crunch is probably one of the least novel plays in the GX book. Something PRX have definitely seen before. That one is shut down.
That is a classic Ascent play. Teams have been running that since the dawn of time in different variations, but hey, it still works frequently enough that there's nothing wrong with mixing it in. Cloud catches something on the cross. Now 1 versus 3. They have an opportunity to isolate anything else. The IGL for GX, but individually has been no slouch in this tournament. Far from it, in fact.
He was 23-9 on Sunset against Sentinels. Plus 15 kills deaths across the entire series.
But Forsaken on that crouched angle, a bit too quick for Cloud to deal with. Crosshair not ready for that. So PRX able to capitalize on a round where they absolutely nullify this aggression from GX. And the timings end up being a little bit off. Cloud is waiting for that recon to land before sending out the Hunter's Fury. So the pace of that was a little bit too slow, with the players actually pushing down, with R getting through tiles to push out a B main. Rare moment, honestly, for GX, where things are not
didn't quite line up
too tight with the timings, and so PRX, obviously with the quality of shooters they have, they're able to just dismantle that somewhat disjointed effort.
So tech pause here, it's Ara's in-ears, if I'm not mistaken, that are now being just handled. When you've got a player who's newer to the stage, maybe newer to some of these match conditions, but obviously an MEA plays under a very similar setup, so just wants to make sure everything is ship-shape as we're getting towards the pointy end of this map. And like I was kind of saying before that tiles crunch came in, this is a team that's considered by many to be the best in the world, PRX. The favorites in this tournament. GX came in with no expectations. They've been very clear about that. And they start by rocking Sentinels. I mean, the performance on Sunset was like a 13-4. Sentinels just look horrendous by comparison. And GX have been able to, despite being matched up against a team who plays so fast, it's hard to actually put things in place against them, have been able to execute a number of set plays, not just on this defense side, but obviously also on an attack side in such a way where the util, the exception of that previous round, was layered so well, almost effortlessly by GX, and they're able to find edges against some of the best individual players as a world, as a team. GX have got such a deep playbook as far as it seems to us. No two rounds really look the same.
Are they all awesome horses?
I'm definitely impressed by the fact that in no situations has it felt like they are shook by going up against the best team in the world, the reigning, defending champions from Toronto, heading into champs. They are just sending it. They are playing to that underdog mentality. Players are making individual confidence plays, taking timings. We've seen that from Aura, especially on this defense side. Oh my God. By the way, Flickless has 20 assists right now. That is I just noticed that, but that is crazy. And it makes sense. We have seen him hit a number of important flashes throughout this game.
It definitely feels like, you know, the GX we see when Flickless is on KO, for example, as opposed to like Viper, someone who's less able to assist with like that faster play or less positioned to set a duelist up
like his breach on Sunset as well, right? And that is just the duo that was added. Flickless, Aura.
An insane flex player. And again, that experience with, you know, playing alongside some of these players in the past on teams as well, in challenges. I mean, don't forget, at the end of stage 1, GX make wholesale changes, pick up these players from challenges, and then become a force to be reckoned with in stage 2. After a bit of a up and down group stage as the playoffs where they really came alive. These guys are the real deal now. They've had enough time to get settled. And in a blink of an eye, they've gone from playing their stage 2 into going up against the reigning champions from Toronto and giving them a heck of a go.
PRX.
Look at this top mid grouping.
Can they get back into this must-win round of GX? They'll be on match point. The economy for the defenders still strong at the moment. Patman is built to that Hunter's Fury, and honestly, you know, PRX, one thing they have done a great job of on this attack side is controlling the orb game, right? Despite using it just a couple rounds ago, Devi is almost at that steel garden.
But in doing so, they often give up mid early, which has allowed for these plays from GX through it. This time, 3 players up mid, they are going for it.
All the way up mid, use that wall to cross from spawn so you can't get shot, flash for lane, something ready to go in.
Cloud on West Side fully anchored for this now, though they are tucked inside Boathouse. Cypher U2 coming up, and Patman's trying to clear them out. The perfect opener, but Cloud is ready on the swing. 2, and there's more coming. He might just be ready. What a flash from Flickless again! The setup is too good. Ara gets involved. Cloud's able to hold his own, and PRX are down to just Patman, who was supposed to be the one that opened the way up. Let them move in behind this Hunter's Fury. Now he's got to do it himself. This could be the map.
30 seconds left.
Aura on the angle, ready to go. The double swing out. I mean, GX, they come into this playing the oldest comp in the book for Ascent, the classic. And you don't really see it too much anymore. And I think it's valid if you have questions about, man, they're still running this. But then you watch them play it, and look at the timing on this. The flash over the top with the double bounce, recon comes out. It is just perfect from them. I mean, they are maximizing the tools that this comp has. So impressive.
Flickless adds another 2 assists off a devastating flash.
Or up to 24 now. 1 round away from taking map 1 against PRX.
Ara is basically walking on palm fronds this game. That is how well he is being set up for success.
Retrieving flash.
All right, just straight up B hit off the steel guard, and the device been able to get quite quickly. West side relegated to just that. Sheriff is PRX on the entry cage, about to get the skill on it for a second. No, Sheriff not strong enough.
Seen him find those we need to see. Classic W gaming from
Nice.
PRX now. They have that massive advantage weapons-wise. They're able to leverage it to get this B-side control. But eventually, GX can reach for those primaries once more. Sage Wolf has got a gap in it, so Flickless has to show himself briefly with that little gap. Something working those angles pretty effortlessly, and there's a slow warp that will waylay Flickless further.
Robinho working through B main. We'll discover that there are no PRX players there this time. Everyone on site. No reason for GX to not go for this. Only one round left, and they have a ton of money, but it's something who's ready to clean things up.
Okay, don't know who wins that one. Flickless at 10. And we know just how solid things have been for GX. They've got decent money here. And now to get 2 guns out of the hands of PRX. As Pacific's #1 seed stays alive in map 1.
Just keeping it simple, straight up Big B execute with the Steel Garden. You know that GX have been anchoring this site hard. Westside is always playing there. You know you're at least going to catch him right. So they get in, able to draw out those cages, they wait things out. The Forsaken swings through. He's only got the Sheriff Westside. He can't win that.
Devi had to pop his ult really hastily because that 0 point was about to turn his abilities off. So they had to go there. So round 24 comes up. GX still with a map win at their fingertips. Putting PRX out of commission is a hard ask, but look at his mid take again. PRX play more towards an A side of the map. They don't get involved here, and they don't see Ara coming.
It is the last round of this game, potentially, and GX play with no fear at all.
Unreal stuff from GX. They pick a set, and they have got to look for every single round. It's like Paris Fashion Week out there. Always something a little different. Taking that mid control on the defense side. PRX not ready for this style of play. Not familiar with their game. What an opener for GX here. An upset map win to make the series that much more interesting.
Ara with 26 kills, topping the board, 5 first bloods. He was lethal on defense.
All right, up next, we're going to hear from Yintu and the analyst desk to break down map 1 with a very, very pleased, I'm sure, Mitch Man.
Nice server! No, but if you chase the ace, you won't get it. You have to let it come to you.
Hey, what do you choose? Win or ace?
Win and ace, that's what I choose, brother.
2 minutes later.
Dude, guys, I knew it! One of us gonna get ace today, right? I knew it! Instant, dude, instant first round ace, dude, when I said that.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated. We will dance to get. The future of money is here.
Alright, hold on, YouTube and Twitch. I'm gonna go toilet.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
So looking for revenge.
There's the shorty. Goes crazy.
They've all battled through the pressure and expectation. Finally, we won. Finally.
Just realize this is. Sorry for YouTube guys, I need to I'll mute like this. I'll mute the music in the video. I had to mute it. It's copyright guys. Oh, I was to mute this. Until they start talking again. Oh, there we go.
Now, that was a very impressive first map. Congratulations on that. I'm curious if you had to change something in your preparation just because PRX's playstyle is a little unique.
I mean, yeah, we switched a little bit the preparation, but not really a preparation. It's more about that we have to be ready mentally to certain things, and we have to understand that we have to expect certain things, and probably we had an idea that we want to stop fire with fire, you know. So if they run us down, we run them back every time, no matter what. Like, and that's kind of, I think the game was really excited because of that for the viewers, because I felt that there were so many fights happening consistently, and yeah, that was pretty much it.
Oh, definitely looking good out there, and let's see how you guys fare on the second map.
Don't worry, Pipson, as a viewer of that map, I had an amazing time. But at what point do we stop saying miracle run for GX? At what point are they just that good?
When they win champions.
Okay, deal. Deal.
I think we're past that point, honestly. Like, I was willing to accept a few teams losing to GX through the regular season and go, okay, bad day for the other team. Okay, lucky day for GX. But, oh, we're well past that point now. I think they've proven themselves. If they can win this series, doubt is gone.
But first, let's take a look at the HyperX reflex moment. It was from pistol round and an ace from something, summing up sort of how PaperX are playing this game.
Yeah, I think they still had some of those brilliant individual moments. He definitely slowed after that first half, and that's where we started to see the more interplay really work out for GX. Like having those aggressive flashes coming out of the likes of Flickless, who I think had an incredible map. I think you had Ara. It was mentioned on the cast quite regularly that he was put into so many high-value positions with great utility, and that is what made this GX team so special. And even with plays like this, taking over rounds, it wasn't enough.
Well, I think that's what we said about PaperX, right? A lot of their wins have been off individual plays, bailing them out of bad situations, or the initial play working out. And it seemed like GX was ready for either side of that coin.
Yeah, and I can't believe it wasn't a PaperX player that topped the scoreboard. You know, it was on the side of GX. And Westside, I owe you an apology. Mitch, you know, feel free to gloat.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to. This guy, he is unbelievable. I mean, I think he was the top for headshot percentage we always talked about in EMEA, and you got to see it here on fire. But there were rounds where, like, they even sent him into a retake after Steel Garden had gone down, where he ran to site, took fights, and 3 players stayed behind to hold the players coming out of main. They had so much confidence in Westside, retaking by himself, and he made it work.
Yeah, Coach Alexo had some moments there, so I can't wait to see what he had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey guys, Mika back here, and I'm with Alex of PaperX. Now, there's been a running trend of confidence, especially when it comes to the boys. They've been talking about it in various interviews, but on this first map, you saw that Giant X was really unafraid to take the fight to PaperX. Did you feel that the confidence of the boys wavered a little bit on this first map?
Yeah, of course. I think we play a little bit scared. Normally, we'll be all over the map, but this one we were like forcing ourselves to go into like one bomb site. And I really don't like how we played, so I'm hoping there will be a lot better on Lotus.
Hope you guys can bring it back on Lotus. Good luck.
Oh, I don't ever remember PaperX feeling scared to go up against a team on the server. But Tom, tell all the fans as to why they shouldn't be worried just yet.
Well, I think Lotus coming up next and Sunset, these are 2 of their best maps within the entirety of the pool. They did have a couple of blips as of recent, but if anything, that kind of fills me with even more confidence coming into this. They've had some trying to fix the little issues, but in terms of compositions, not massive amount of change. What I want to look forward to, though, is the 2 Fade players. I think they're going to play a huge part in this matchup. Cloud, if he's on point, maybe this map can go in their favor. If he's missing, I think they've already lost.
And one other thing,
they were running the same thing.
Swapping Flickless over to the Viper for comfort. And you might have looked at that game and said, well, his utility's so good, and his Viper, it wasn't really that great. Here is where you're going to see why Viper's considered Flickless's comfort. He owns on this map. And now coming in with confidence, hell, we saw GX in the last round play PaperX's style. They ran it down. This is going to be a hard bounce back for PRX.
I disagree. I think this is where PaperX, Uber and Wire should be able to find an answer.
And we just come off the back of what feels like a masterclass of playing the default comp on us and a symphony of set plays and supportive util. It was impressive to see. Lotus, though, a little less played from GX, and it's a map that PRX did end up losing to RRQ in that Pacific final. But this is where they feel their bread is buttered. And they're choosing this over the Haven, which is a good map for PRX.
Ultimately, though, PaperX across this year, I believe they're 18-5 on this map. So I think despite losing it in the last couple of outings,
perhaps.
I want to feel that that's not indicative of some kind of downtrend. They're sticking to the same comp. GX played this a couple times late in Stage 2, really against only the cream of the crop EMEA teams. They seem to only play this map against some of the best in the game. This one obviously follows that trend. PaperX love this double duelist here. They're pushing out, taking some space A main early.
Look at this already. B door opened up by GX. They get that mount control.
GX love this play. They love taking C mount, opening door, fighting into B main. When
Fast
Aura
rotates.
has an op, they'll do that as well later. But yeah, PaperX, they are just on the move. They want to get into this A site. Westside is anchoring, heavily committed.
This Rapper's going to come from GX, but it's going to take some time to get up from Rubble. In the meantime, Westside has to hold
Nice
on.
hunting.
And the
Nice
clone
Jing.
catches him out.
Yeah, that's the wrong Yoru, my friend. GX, obviously, as we were saying, they were very fast out of C. They're all now on this flank. And PaperX, they are aware of the situation. Look at the way they position themselves on the site. Taking space towards Heaven is a really nice idea. Jing can even wrap back towards Stairs. This is going to be tough for GX.
Attacking shots though through the smoke. Grabinho pushing up on the stairs. That's Jing out of the picture. Now PRX knocked down to 4. Paranoia comes on through. Something though found Cloud as he attempted to get into the site. And now the challenge towards upper. Ara wins it out, but finds himself alone. And Forsaken will swoop in to give PRX the start they need.
Yeah, they really, I think, inevitably cement themselves the win when they just flip the site, get into Heaven. Even Jing, he loses that duel on Stairs, a little unfortunate, but ultimately still, they're at a man disadvantage, having to retake with 2 players in Heaven for the attackers. Like, PaperX just positionally play that well.
If there's a fast rotate coming, PRX know they can't afford to be slowed down by stalled util. That Viper wall on A, they're just disrespected. They've got to run in a tree. They've got to play with that speed and give themselves a player advantage on site. So now, anti-eco here for GX. They're, again, really active on look at what they're doing over at A, right? Really a lot of dynamism here. How do you punish this sort of fast rotate style?
I mean, they can just exploit GX's rotates by drawing them really quickly. Wow, okay, Westside just...
Come on.
All right, random right. Oh my god, he almost one-shots to buy.
Down to 20. Cloud has to back away though from this paint shell. A lot done here by Westside. GX ready to fight into the side as the smoke clears, but something cleverly picks Ara off with a wider angle and then waits for GX to walk into his crosshairs. 3 for something. PRX, no nonsense on this anti-eco.
On the verge of some real danger, but they are able to win out the important duels at the end when GX go for that multiple player swing. PaperX make the most of their superior weaponry, and they can have a pretty competent bonus round now with a couple of those rifles. Fullback coming through for GX. Looks like they want to go for some of that early mound presence. When they do that, it is always initiated by Cloud. And then they'll maybe go for that door open again if no one's there. Push towards B. This is fast for PaperX to get A control.
Yep. No C's nade combo here out of GX, so they know the raise probably isn't here.
Same from GX. Pushed all the way through door, then Prowler into B main. And with all this noise, PaperX just want to accelerate into A yet again.
Forsaken is solo there, pretty much on his own, and Flickless takes it from top stairs. Now into the site we go. Something trying to push in deep. Westside has the Prowler to deal with it. Shoots straight through it. And it's Flickless activating from pit. My goodness. PRX. Nothing but scorch marks on this A site.
I'm going to need a replay on that Westside kill.
Run it back.
Prowler, not going to lie, going to need a replay on that. Was that intentional? Hard to say, honestly. PaperX had some good util there to try and get an advantage fight against the anchor suit. I mean, specifically Westside. There's a Prowler in his face.
And if this GX anchoring is moderately successful, there's enough time bought for the entire rest of the team on these fast rotates through B main to help out at the site.
Yeah, but I'm not mad at that. You know, the idea from PaperX of just, okay, they're pushing with 3 players on C again. GX love having 3 players on C. Just hit into the site with less players, but tough to do so when the anchor is Westside, where he is at his most proficient. It's just Divide going to go ahead and save in this instance.
Look where these trap wires are, basically untouched. Forsaken pushed ahead or pushed towards that Viper wall and got picked off very early. It's such a nice opener from Flickless.
Yeah, I got to see that one on the replay as well.
He just rotates around the pit, right? Kills the tree player. Dude, I do not want to go up
Save it at
against
this point.
Flickless or Westside. Try to hit these sides, man. Or both. Nah, forget about it. That's brutal. But it's either that, or take a mound fight against 3 GX players, including their Raze and Fade. Pick your poison.
Yeah, I feel like it's so much more common to have that Viper towards the seaside, but comboing it with the Cypher util here. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought something like that happened. And Cloud even gives the supporting haunt. I mean, that's a crazy kill. And the haunt comes in over the top at the perfect time.
The west side of his crosshair set for, the swing around the corner. He felt like there would be a fast swing off that Prowler. He was right.
All right, PRX now onto their full buy. Something just one orb away from getting the dimensional drift very early. Has started both this map and Ascent really hot in terms of the kills, in terms of getting an early dimensional drift.
This looks like much more of a default event side setup for GX.
And now it looks like PRX, they want to make some sound here towards A, and then something can just teleport over. Thought maybe they were going to try to bring him over towards that seaside to get the orb. They had mound control.
Something just did not like the prospect of being dug out of rubble there. So opted to leave instead. Going to work this rubble, re-clear it slowly. The horn into that B-side reveal Ara.
And this time, obviously set up adjustment from GX on this defense, having that duo of Westside and Flickless towards C. The other trio, emphasis on A. Aura in a fairly committed position. Grabinho trying his best to support, trying his best to draw attention, and he does. So 1 for 1, but a factory.
Ara getting his is big. He took a lot of damage just crossing to that position, but Blinker and yours it, folks. GX get hammered. They're over towards that baby door direction. Divide with 3 already. Westside doesn't have a lot of business, I think, being anywhere near the B-sides.
He is shredding them apart, and off of all that distraction, you just had Patman, Forsaken, kind of biding their time towards B main to take the perfect moment to swing out, get a kill, get the plant.
How deep do you think the playbook for GX is on a map like this, as opposed to their Ascent?
I mean, that was something I was mentioning to you before this game. I feel like watching them on this map, compared to some of the others like Ascent, especially Sunset, where it feels like they have an infinite amount of set plays, I don't think they have that same depth on Lotus. The map has been okay for them. It's been mostly close games, close in win, close enough in their losses, but you know, like those other maps, I don't think they have the same number of plays to get them consistent wins.
In the EMEA, up until the playoffs, Lotus was only accounting for about 16% of the picked maps in EMEA, the lowest since 2023. So definitely, you know, EMEA teams gone off the boil on this map a little bit. Especially Fnatic used to always prefer to go over to that one, but they have not really touched it.
Yeah, very different to PRX, who played this map
Yes.
over 20 times.
Lotus aficionados.
They love playing it.
They probably have played as many Lotus maps themselves as have been played entirely in EMEA.
Now GX are back to the triple on C. Gravino pressed up very far forward, ready with that paranoia. Swing out left from Aura, 1 for 1. Forsaken, happy enough to just teleport away after the kill.
They had to know there was going to be a mound fight brewing here, PRX, if they've seen the tape. Now, of course, see the exchange of smokes. That one way is going to be renewed by Gravino. He is insisting on maintaining the control of this part of the map. PRX are going to have to allow it. B pivot?
Yeah, let's just be main off the Prowler. Can show some presence in different areas of the map. Something in a position where maybe he could catch off some kind of rotate, or at least just work some space towards A.
Oh, God!
What?
Unreal. Patman has a feeling for the timing. He was right.
Just shows the tracers. Something has this dimensional drift for a late round. And GX have pivoted 2 players towards this C side, which is seeming like the right call.
Now quickly Cloud rotated off B. You know, we need to be here now for this anchoring attempt. Grabinho does not have a paranoia to work with, and this is a dimensional drift that will allow something to pave the way. Cloud a little bit low after that exchange with Patman earlier. That was a clone scene. Here come PRX ready to throw down, get their hands dirty on the site, but the rotates are coming in. Westside already going to set up here alongside Flickless in Waterfall, and something wasn't quite ready for it. Swings a little bit wider than he was ready to account for, and Divine now has to get it done. Finds Cloud, Steel Garden to give him the edge. Doggedly defending that spike location, and this will slow things up for the retake. Flickless and Westside hold an approximation of a crossfire for the time being. But once those weapons return, they'll be ready, and Flickless is there. PRX have to hand over the second round, as even the skilled garden is not enough.
Respect the usage, though, from Devi. Awkward little moment for something. All good. GX go 1-for-1 on the early C fight. They're kind of standard. This was a pivotal moment in the round, obviously. Like, it's just some random spam from Patman onto a commonly held angle, but then the Tracers are spotted, who's out of the Vandal.
They started shooting at the same time. Cloud is less so responding to the Tracers and just thinking of the same timing as Devi. Very, very solid. West side up to 5-2. Anchoring prowess on A on full display already. Will be populating the C side, and we might see a rubble fight instead from GX now with their Raise and Fade over here. There's the Haunt.
Teleport across from Forsaken to play towards that door. GX pivoting the setup, just kind of bouncing, ping-ponging west side back and forth from that A site to the C site to keep PaperX guessing, who are fully invested into this round. Would love to get that showstopper access for Jing.
Ding
dong. That's mental.
There's that individual prowess from something on display.
That's sick.
Now, get a weapon upgrade for himself, going into Baby Door. We'll have some backup that might pivot towards a B hit from that. Flickless is going to be the one that has to stand tall in the face of this level of pressure.
Come on.
Steps up, knows it's coming, going to try and take matters into his own hands, but something still has the Guardian and still tears his head off. Three with the Guardian. Bro, it refuses to be stopped.
They're not even going to the B site. PaperX are just on their way over to A. All right, little bit of a TDM round there, felt like. What was that first shot, though? Stunner from back rubble.
Oh, my
wow.
goodness.
I mean, the jiggle to bait the shot, then swings a bit wider, instant tap.
Yeah, you just feel a little different.
Holy
shit.
is right.
Holy.
4-2 is the round score now for PRX. That time, yeah, no aggressive mound presence. PRX didn't actually see the Raise, I think, off the rip, so weren't sure. But there was no explosive fight at rubble like we thought there might have been.
And that was a super important round in terms of the economy. Both sides were quite low, but now PaperX with an opportunity to really stabilize if they get a clean anti-eco. But GX want to get in quick. West side 1-for-1. Back sight, but under the pressure of the Prowler. Yeah,
he doesn't shoot through the Prowler.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
PRX go very aggressive. No, they have a chance here to really just stack up an important fifth round for themselves. Gravino but lately going to take that door toggle. Ara joining him in mounds. There's an Arcros out there that does confirm the two players' presence. And they know full well that the Razor Vine is going to be in their way. Devi decides to step ahead of it though and get this one out of the way nice and quick.
There's something a Patman would love to get a kill here to get close to their ultimates, and yeah, that will be the case. Obviously, GX for this buy round have the full arsenal. 5 ults ready to go. PaperX at the moment have just been having their, just instilling their will upon the map. They are taking space everywhere, pretty much any time they want. Moderate amount of success for GX with the mound fights, but that is about it. Outside of that, yeah, they're getting away with everything.
This is 3 rounds in a row. They've got the Raise Fade at A instead. So they're now leaving West Side solo on C as opposed to on A. Are we going to have a fast hit towards B here behind this showstopper?
Certainly could be the case. Prowler going to go right through main. Showstopper in. Jing blinded up in a lot of trouble. Doesn't know what the hell is going on, but something able to catch out Flickless.
Nightfall pretty important here. It's going to be a showstopper now coming from GX. Ara needs to get back in, and it goes 1-for-1. Trade of Razors. Beautifully done by Gravino. Something out there on the side. Does get picked off. The Nightfall for Cloud helping to a great degree, and there was no plant, no full commitment for PRX. Now they're going to pivot off this side, but Westside is going to see it coming.
Yeah, now they know that Patman is just that lone hanging player towards B, trying to cause some distraction with the Prowler. Forsaken out wide, wants to jump, try to bait out some kind of shot.
Devi's got the op here. He can post. This is still dangerous.
But do they expect Cloud tucked in the corner?
No, they found him. Now there should be a swing here. Yep, Grabino looking to try and take the fight from Baby Door, but Devi, quick peek and gets back to safety. Little did he know, Grabino would be walking into a triple face.
Grabino did work himself into a good position there, to be fair, just couldn't connect the shot. Now it's all on West Side. Trying to make his way through heaven.
Spike planted.
Just drop himself down, take the fight, Forsaken the first to go. He has a feeling for the fight in that corner and chunks him down to 61.
Unfortunately, just has no util to work with. Even a cage could be nice here just to temporarily throw in front of Tree.
PRX is trying to make sure this doesn't get isolated off, and Devi is ready with the op. Nicely done. Devi opens things up. He gets Cloud out of that position behind the box near Baby Door. That's an important pick.
I'll tell you, the attack off Sentinel, I think on Lotus in particular, is just so strong at the moment. Trades going through off that showstopper. PRX is doing a great job slowing the game down there, pivoting away.
Who gave you all
Okay, Devi.
Yeah, it's really feeling like PRX are just a cut above on this map. They're so experienced on it. Lower in the pool for GX. It seems like they made the right decision in terms of the map pick ban from Alex here.
And in GX's defense, a lot of these early rounds for PRX, they have not tried to apply full pressure to Rubble. Haven't tried to run out there since like the first couple rounds of the game. So as soon as Westside has actually been moved over to the C site, PRX have tried to work them out a little bit more. Notice that there's actually not 3 players trying to take that space from them. Gravino, I think on one occasion, tried to, you know, keep that one-way going, stand his ground there. There was a bit more of an all-in engagement. But in general, PRX are able to hit his slightly weaker held sites. And then that big hit on B behind the showstopper, behind the Nightfall. It was messy, and they were still able to extract themselves and pivot over to A.
When GX have had a lot of success on this map, it has come from being able to consistently keep the off in Aura's hands and play around that as a way to just control part of the map. He really hasn't had a lot of chances with it, and when he did, he got deleted by something with the Guardian, with that sick one-tap, right? So, dude, even at that, such an important piece of the success that they have had here is just not a factor.
It was so big against Sentinels, right? Once they started to, you know, they lost 6 rounds, I think, at the start of Haven. Then they got Aura going, and then it was curtains.
Prowler goes under the trip. It's a little bit higher up. That is awkward. Jing is caught, but yeah, he is still. That's crazy.
Yeah, easily handled that. It's time for Util, a big problem. Something willing to stand and fight. Remember, this is a GX Sheriff Eco round, and Flickless is commanding attention on the sites. Devi, very little to do here. Smoked off it entirely. Still has a spike to hand. At the very least, can have a crack at this. The money's in a fine place for PRX to get a bit experimental. Maybe he can be rewarded with some patience here on this look towards C-Link.
GX have recovered the guns. Flickless knows that he should not be giving anything to Devi. Wall is up so he can reposition towards sight. That is such a funny little adjustment that works out, just putting the trip higher than the Prowler, but it still catches a player on entry. That is really sick.
Yeah, in theory, PRX have a ton to deal with that, right? They have the Prowler. Of course, they have the Yoru clone that can tease it out. Nicely done. I mean, there was Jing had nowhere to go, and he needed to get into Baby Door with that judge. The perfect way to shut him down. So it's been Devi and something, though, really have put out strong performances, and both of them have made use of the op at times, or the Guardian, and made it look like an op.
Now, does Devi dare use the Steel Garden he's about to get? He used it in the 1v2, but yeah, no, I think he's going to probably die first, sadly. Or just walks in, takes the timing, gets the free kill, gets the defuse, and GX. The Thrifties are what honestly propelled them back into the game on Ascent. Though, that being said, the score was much closer throughout that entire game. It was not nearly as dominant for PRX.
Oh.
Yep, and there's that high up trip. Flickless catches the 1 kill, and then just floods right back in with Westside. There's multiple players coming through Baby Door. Pretty rapid from GX to convert there.
And that's a great place to fight with Sheriffs. They're very much within your effective range. It's in your wheelhouse. Great MasterCard Thrifty. One of many from GX we've seen over this series.
Just mentioned it, but Aura was able to recover that op with the kill on Devi at the end there. He was still carrying that. So we'll see if that can be crucial to them getting back in the game. They love to fight for Mount here, then open door and have Aura already on the angle towards B main. Yeah, and that is going to be the case, but, you know, no one really ready to fight. Something is making all the distraction towards B right now.
A pinch on the B here from Upper could be interesting. Something! Okay, as the game crash out of there. It's going to be Aura opening up the account. Jing was found first. Op in the hands of Aura is always a dangerous prospect. But with the Sheriff, Gravino can't find his way out of the corner. The Steel Garden definitely getting its value here. West side, though, and Aura still able to populate the site. And as soon as he got the Phantom back in hand, he put it to work to the tune of 2 kills.
And Westside saves Aura's life there. Guaranteed.
weird angle that Cloud's on. It's going to be hard for Divide to dig him out.
Yeah, much like this last round, GX don't want to give anything to Divide in this situation now that they've got the advantage. But it is giving opportunity for something to just flank all the way through spawn.
He's making the right choice here, going from Link's side.
It will I mean, how does Aura, and why would he have any sense for this timing? This is crazy.
I mean, there's something gate crashing back to rubble. The fact that he's got here is pretty absurd, and Westside is watching for it anyway, Wyatt.
GX just adjusted their setup at the perfect moment, and now it'll just simply be on Divide to save. These B-holds have been pretty standout from GX.
Divide makes a choice in the previous round, Wyatt, to try and plant, to try and win in a 1v3 and not save that op. He hands it over to Ara, who uses it to open up and smash Jing as he tries to fast play onto B. Maybe regretting that somewhat.
And it did, yeah, that play towards C-Mount, yeah, it does end up working. The classic from GX, they run that constantly. Especially when Aura has the op and can just post up on B main through the door. Gets that free catch. See this on the replay?
Yep. So sick, man.
Yeah, GX do this constantly. And Jing was ready for the angle, he swung out on it, but going up against it off. Westside comes up so huge to save Aura there. And then they just maneuver that setup a little bit differently so they can actually cover that flank through spawn. So much time had expired that they had to have a sense that something could be on some kind of really big wrap around the map like that.
So first it's a MasterCard Thrifty with a Sheriff Sing on the B side. And now GX fight through the Razor Vine to get to within 2 rounds here.
PRX are so heavily invested into this round. If GX take it here, they'll be on a bad bye PRX that last round. A real shot at actually bringing this back to 6.
They don't want to deal with this Mount fight this time. PRX instead head over towards A, always looking towards West Side site. Oh my god, this guy is just something else, man.
Yeah, you just really don't want to be headed towards West Side site.
Who are you supposed to go? Home?
You roll the die, 3 options. Sadly, you hit his sight.
All right. Flickless here, Razor Vine blooming in front of him. No success with spam through that cyber cage. Westside wants to get active on the side. He walks, though, up on Jing, who this time is ready to throw down into the back of the side. Jing goes and now to upper. Full side control for PRX. And Giant X have Ara and Cloud. We need to work together to piece this out.
And those anchors who have typically been an absolute wall, just depleted by PRX on a very important round for their money. Aura into this 1 versus 3. Does he even want to risk it with the op? Actually, yeah, he has a ton of cash. He can go for the play. Why not? Just send it.
Time is short. The harder he can make this next round for PRX, the better. It will be the last round of the half. Ara, since getting that op in hand, we've seen what he can do with it. He's absolutely dynamic.
It gets a showstopper. So, hey, little consolation prize. He'll take it. He will take it. Get out of the round with that.
Messy round for PRX. You mentioned a big investment there.
GX, or rather, sorry, when they were anchoring that site, Jing did a great job on the entry here. He gets that 1v1, and then as soon as he hears the teleport, realizes that it was Gravino getting into backside, swings before he even gets out of that. That was just a heads-up play.
GX in the 2v4 end up taking 3 players, though. Make it expensive. PRX owned in this last round of the half. Still mostly bought up. A couple of half armors here. Forsaken not with full util, had to buy down completely. Gonna have to be enough. No op here for Ara.
Instant seized with a nade this time. Not gonna catch the flash is amazing! And Jing collects all 3!
PRX knew exactly what they were walking into this time.
Fastest round I've ever seen in Valorant. I mean, what was that, 5 seconds?
Very no-nonsense stuff. This time, PRX meet GX head on. Love to see that.
What was the clock on that? Genuinely, was that 5 seconds? 6 seconds?
We're about to see. All right, while we do see this again, we're going to go a quick break. We'll come back, of course, with the next half of Lotus.
Coming back for the back half of Lotus here, our second match in this series. Coinbase Econ Report, I think we can guess who we're going to be highlighting in this particular occasion. One player on the side of GX been impressive, but it's Divine that we're watching, who's got the op in his hands a couple of times. You mentioned, Wyatt, how that sort of, you know, an attack side Senti with the op in hands on Lotus has been pretty darn impactful. He is vomiting damage here for that spend.
Yeah, the money spent for the damage dealt with the report also looks pretty good when you get the operator for free, because you're taking it from the other team. And you just are getting kills off the back of that as well. It was a great half from Devi.
And that last round was 6 seconds of Valorant.
That might be the fastest round I've ever seen. It very well may be.
Yep. And I guess the last chance for GX to show the proactive defense looks. They just threw themselves at PRX, come off second best. PRX now, potentially more confident, ready to take those kind of fights. We've got Jing and Divine with Sheriffs to hand here.
All of GX looking like they're just ready to go at this B site. Stacked up with 4 players. Cloud has 1 Prowler, 1 Haunt.
The stack, so full retake protocols in effect now for PRX. GX get up on this B side.
Luckily, something doesn't actually take that teleport. Just walking down out of A. Westside is going to hear all of this. If he plays it patiently, he might be able to backstab everybody.
Yep, they are not checking for this. All the timing is good for Westside, and he's able to convert it into a second. Paranoid for Forsaken, but he still gets dinked. Bro, he's down to 4. Able to take the fight with some right clicks, but once again, PRX disrupted as they're trying to set up defensively.
How many late round situations have we seen Deviant like this? And yet somehow he's still putting up crazy numbers, but he's in unwinnable spots.
Not this time. Forsaken at 4 with pressure and shots through the smoke. Giant Eggs, what a start here. Working the map. And leaving that insert back towards the B main flood. Beautifully done by Westside.
That is so well played. Shows all the steps, patient, picks the perfect timing. PaperX just not suspecting there would be someone waiting outside of C whatsoever.
Translation, good.
Westside now up at 14 kills, having a hell of a series at the moment.
So again, GX still want to try and throw curveballs, no matter what side of the map they're on. PRX pretty serious about this A side control. We'll just see some health bars affected there as they're decayed briefly by that Viper wall that GX are going to play off.
GX hear a lot of noise towards A, so they want to leave. Why not go elsewhere? And PaperX, they're saying, hey, we made a lot of noise, they're probably going to leave. Let's go to the other side of the map.
They're pinging the expected location of the Archeros there as well, up on the wall. Devi had made use of that already by the looks.
PaperX are very ready for this. They knew what GX were going to do.
Ara trying to make a swing. It's risky business trying to post up with that angle, and something's going to punish him now. The paint shells catch Westside. By the heel as he tries to abscond quickly. Cloud paranoia it up, but Flickless is able to bail him out. And now the push through the smoke. He's got to be devastated. PRX feed themselves into the wood chipper. Grabinho more than happy to oblige.
PRX just couldn't resist the temptation of trying to continue that sequence of kills. They just couldn't resist. They had to, they had the stack. Maybe they could have waited, tried to get the guns later, allow a rotate. I mean, Alex he's livid.
Yep.
He is livid as to why they tried to go that fast.
It's that
they're out of sync with their paranoia with Forsaken coming out of B.
Oh, the paranoia was much earlier onto Cloud. It's that element of rascality in PRX that they can't deny. It takes a wheel for them and it runs them headlong into a brick wall.
A very quick take of A now from GX, already working their way into tree, which is being smoked off, but it's Grabinho who's gotten into stairs. Might catch Forsaken on the rotate.
Here's this all of it. Forsaken thought he was clever getting up on the corner, but Grabinho was far further forward than he expected.
What a kill. Has the paranoia line up for backside as well. He catches Patman.
Patman out in the open. Ara able to take that fight, and Jing knew he had the talk. He knows this question, the better part of Valor now. The pressure is on. What a correction. 3 for Jing, and this fight goes loose. It's at the back of the site. And GX had to get Flickless and Westside up here to wrest it out of his grip.
And what have they got to do with absolutely no tools? PaperX are now everywhere.
Oh, man.
That flooding effort to support Jing, who really does it all. The weapons for GX just not good enough, and the aim from Jing is really sickening.
But Grabinho got so deep. The kill upstairs, pick on something, paranoia. Surely that's enough to work with. But the timing's not there, the spacing for GX as they try and capitalize. They only get the one kill off it.
That first player was a little bit too early. The Sheriff's just not really enough for the trade there either. Really, really sick sequence of kills though from Jing. That was beautiful.
Jing quiet, honestly, up until this point. Now in the 10 spot.
Could go for some kind of crazy double satchel, but the showstopper off here. He can get some insane distance if he wants to do it.
Yeah, PRX looking for a delayed rebel fight by the looks.
It's so great. You never see two players stacked up there. That is so silly.
There are a lot of things I've never seen until PRX do them. Saken back onto the A site now. Has to think twice about setting up in tree. Paranoia drawn out. Now as the door opens, the Grabinho's hoping to get ahead.
Jing on the rotate over towards A Heaven. If GX commit, they're still staring down the barrel of this showstopper.
Oh, thought he had a timing, but Grabinho has room to recover.
And now Jing is just solo, all alone.
Done this again. He's done this before. He gets chomped on. Paranoid, Prowler out, and still something controls that high ground. He's gonna rip the showstopper. Grabinho can't get away in time. This time, Jing relies on his teammates for success. And that's also a solid strategy. Westside to the back of the side, it's something felled. Patman around the corner, sees in place, and Westside is an easy target, a tasty morsel.
Patman threw up a great haunt in the middle of that fight that was unbroken by GX. I believe that's how something was able to get the kill from Heaven. Arrived just on time, but would have been, I think, maybe a little too late. If this haunt didn't come in, he wouldn't have been able to support, but look at this.
And Jing also just creates space with that showstop. Look at Grabinho immediately trying to get away. No shots, correct hit.
Let's go! Holy shit, man! Good job!
Great flood there by PRX. Something so important from upper there.
That was huge from Patman to get that piece of utility off for something to support Jing, who is about to be overwhelmed. And it sent GX reeling onto this pretty tough little half-buy. Bucky involved, even Westside opportunity, but shots not connecting.
It's a very GX-coded start to the round for PRX. Determined mount control, the opening of B door to force the attackers back further. This map control now has been taken and given hand over fist by GX. They just don't have the weapons to thrive in this scenario. Grabinho is able to get deep now. The iconic Bucky skin will be shut down. Devi for 4.
Devi is hitting on this map, and it's just feeling quite effortless, honestly.
My bad, guys.
Putting up the 19 for 6, playing the Vice. PaperX on this map, they are just certainly a cut above. And individually, with Devi heating up, Jing heating up, looking even more dangerous than they were on Ascent.
And insane as these moments have been from GX, they're too few and they're too far between to start to challenge PRX's round total. 11-6 on the scoreboard, heading into round number 18.
GX is trying to keep it simple with this brawl on A, but PaperX is there to fight.
Ara has to go down there. Nothing he could really do. Seized in place by the looks of things. And there's something. Here's PRX now. This is where their bread is buttered. And it never falls but aside. Down play it. Something. X's with 3.
We have gotten some very fast rounds of Valorant on account of PaperX. Relentlessness, just that willingness to fight. Full brawl in A standard, you get your C's, you get your nade back rubble. So even though Aura is able to capitalize with Jing's really quick push with those double satchels and catching him immediately, just trade it out, post-mortem by the nade. And look at the way that PaperX, just all the rest of the players are swinging together.
They're now imposing
Beautiful,
themselves on GX. There was a rubble fight that followed a mound fight. Both successful for PRX, playing up on the defense side. They're going to go for a mound variation here. There'll be nothing to see for them, but maybe a fast flank opportunity.
GX again just out of A, but PaperX have map elsewhere. Devi, very confident with that swing, I would say.
Something in theory had him covered, but the Rose was not enough to guarantee success there. Well, it's a PRX round, one after another after another.
Okay, boys. Yeah, it feels like they really wanted to get this one over with fast. But the eagerness to do so has extended us by at least one more round.
Yeah, brimming with confidence is the polite way of putting it there for PRX.
And I get it. I get it. Divine got a lot of kills, doesn't have a lot of deaths. Well, that one is bold. That one's bold.
Yeah, there's obviously a player right to Divi's left there. All right, some breathing room here for GX, but as the finisher identified, 7 rounds from here on out need to be won by GX.
And at some point, it's going to be 5 ults for PRX. Yes. So it's going to be tough to overcome the fact that they're going to need all those rounds. I'll tell you that.
So again, PRX just flip-flopping this time. It was a bit more aggressive over towards Rubble side. No one actually in the C side at all. Does Grabino opt to walk up on this? No, paranoia. He thinks that GX are a bit faster than they actually are. Razorvine's canvassing the ground. This will slow things up slightly, but already GX have purchase in the back of the side.
PRX are more than happy to play this for some kind of retake of blood. All right, 1 for 1 on the important ults. Actually, it's the Dimensional Drift in very early. Something spawning on multiple players within that Viper's pit, but certainly can't commit at that timing. Will give an opportunity to ping out for the nade, though.
Okay, West side inside the pit. It's Clone that he ends up taking contact against. Buddy thrown in. GX just keeping a toe in the pit to keep it standing, of course. That's been set in place by Flickless.
This is so much pressure from PRX. GX have not, for any moment, felt comfortable enough to try to actually get this spike down. Yeah. But at this point, they've drawn out enough utility that they can.
The pre-plant pit, though, is always kind of dangerous. It gives PRX time to set up and start spamming in. Ara has fallen.
And one more kill for Jing will result in a showstopper. That could be enough to close out this game, bring us to sunset.
Something's had the time now, the freedom to start to swing around. Looks like the box position in C has been smoked out and shut down. But there's Westside in Cloud. Stave off this attempt at their flank. Now Patman and Jing realize there's no point going any further.
Yeah, that's all she wrote on the round. They need to save those rifles so they can get a full buy into the next. So Dimensional Drift, Steel Garden off the table. Some of the very, very important ults that PRX have access to close out the game. And of course the round converted. Things looking a little bit more realistic for GX. Yeah, but even still, they had to exchange plenty of their own ultimates to get those out. And we're about to have Showstopper Nightfall for PRX. So the cycle, the dance of ultimates back and forth will continue.
But I mean, it's worth pointing out that it's a Steel Garden and a Dimensional Drift that don't really give them an edge in all of this round.
Let's go, we can do this.
Yeah, what can they do with that pit up, right? I mean, there's just no real way to get back in effectively at any juncture. And now PRX want to call this timeout. Alex wants to get involved so they can close this out. Stop the bleeding. 2 in a row for GX. Just bandage that wound, win the game, get to sunset, a home map for both team, and if we get there, that should be an absolute banger.
I do wonder if this is a round where PRX decide to slow it down a bit, because they've been virtually gambling with like aggressive push-ups, and they've been alternating between the C and A side, between Mound, between Rubble, and they've been missing GX a lot of the time. GX got to hit a C side there, which had some Vice util, but no one actually anchoring in it. They played a 0-4-1, 0-1-4 rather, with the Omen, Rubinho set up on B.
Money not all too good for PRX when we get back into this round. I'm interested to see what Alex has in store for them here.
Forsaken rather on the B side.
How much do they want to commit? There's now a buy from Devi down to 50. Yeah, they're going to force it up pretty heavily. It'll put Devi in something low, a few lighter armors. Still a competent buy. And Patman ready to just throw that early haunt over towards A, so PRX can brawl for that side of the map. GX, let's see if they try to go all in.
There's that horn across the map. Sees though, not quite there. It's Ara getting picked off first though. Forsaken in position to deal with him as he tried to cross past that Rubble corner.
Yeah, just instantly opening that tree door. Entry player for GX removed. And now they have to get their bearings, figure out how to win this out in the 4 versus 5 with 0 ultimates available.
Might see some Baby Door presence taken up by PRX in a moment. Mindful, though, is Patman about to push off B main, but there's a shield wall there to detect it.
Yeah, and with that Prowler not getting any spots, no reason for PRX to really adjust here in any way. They can retain these spots on A. They're prepped for B if they need to be as well.
B split coming out. There's that shield wall in play. How will that be handled? Flickless, though, and Westside. The two players should be terrified to fight as they get into the site early. They get past the shield wall.
Something Maybe wanting to go for an aggro play, but couldn't, was delayed. Jing now doubled up though.
Flickless had to wait for that wall to come down. He's now able to sit in main a little bit further. We'll have a plant. There's a TP here for Forsaken. Smoke on Flickless's position now, and Gravino attempts to take control. Paranoia comes out, doesn't affect Gravino though. He's tucked here on the corner, wins one. Eventually gets overrun, but Jing elsewhere, picked up by Westside, who followed up Gravino. Great upper presence here for GX. And the money's not good for PRX, they know it. And now Cloud's starting to bring him down one by one. Something has to limp away, beaten black and blue.
What an adjustment. The movement into that second kill from Cloud. That was so lovely. And I think the GX did an excellent job playing into heaven there. Despite being at that man disadvantage, the paranoia that Gravino threw out was excellent. It connected onto everyone from PaperX that were stacked up there. He gets wide, takes that first engagement, instant swing from Westside to get the second, and he backs up at the right time, just plays around the shorty. That was so well done. Yeah, it's this moment here. Look at that perfect little peek from Westside. And look at that adjustment right back to the side step from Cloud.
Good job.
Wow, GX is still in it.
So much map control off that paranoia into upper.
Why did we take it from here? It doesn't make sense.
Characteristic frustration here is that it's 3 rounds in a row that GX have been able to snatch out from under PRX's nose.
3 chances for PaperX to close this out now. Again, back to the old C's with the nade to take this control towards Rubble, which has been really emphasized by PaperX. Many rounds in a row now on this map.
Devi is able to shoulder pick and see a fair few players here. It's going to be a frothy push on towards the seaside.
Man.
Slowed down briefly by the smoke.
It felt like GX are really just keeping it simple, big executes, and that's what has begun to work for them.
Batman won off that Nightfall for retake. Showstopper also there for Jing. So PRX likely let this first push go through to the keeper.
What is Batman doing?
Play that full retake.
They forced Devi all the way out. But can GX really fight for any additional space? No. Look at the status of the utility. It's very low, just a seize and a haunt. That is all they have access to.
Yeah. Batman would love a kill here. Something to open things up. Ara goes low. Clone there, of course. Complicating things. And there it is. Ara taken down. Not the start they're looking for at all. PRX looking for a retake now as Jing found that showstopper. And it found Flickless in turn. Cloud tucked here by the side, sees Patman go across. Devi might look for a swing off this, but isn't ready for Cloud to take a timing of his own. Nightfall going to come through here, and Cloud is already off the sights. Fantastic stuff from GX. That was PRX going for the full retake behind the showstopper. Doesn't quite get him there.
And during crunch time, Cloud has come to life these past couple rounds. Beautiful play there. Didn't work out, but it was kind of cool in the midst of that retake. He threw a haunt over to Waterfall to see if GX could try to spam onto a player. Weren't able to. And just after that happens, PaperX, they make their way back in. Jing gets that great showstopper off.
Cloud has some of the most unreal movement. The little
it's just these little repositions have
reminds me of
great.
Scuba, honestly, in the successful rounds for NRG.
Kind of goes back in, gets that perfect kill on Devi. That gets the Nightfall, backs up to use it. Really excellent stuff. I can't believe GX are still in this. And they really have just gone back to basics, just hitting sites. Hitting sites, winning out retakes. They're winning them out with man disadvantages as well.
PRX forced into that round to some degree, right? It's a bit of a jumbled mix of weaponry. They probably don't really want to play retake, but they're not given a choice. Not after Cloud has that Nightfall.
And they've been forcing into the last couple rounds, so it's not like the buys have been bad. But they're not coming into them with full buys, like Devi with just the Sheriff there, some weak armors the prior round, a lot of, lighter armors, Guardians. And again, if they force up into this, well, at this point, the loss bonus is kind of high, so they can afford to buy down a bit.
It's not great.
Not great. They've got Sheriffs, just a mix, a smorgasbord of random weapons here. GX full intentions of getting out A, which has been the location that PaperX have been most happy to fight for early, as of late, but this time ultimately pretty free.
There's no C's nade combo as the Fade and Raze both over at B. PRX trying again to gamble on the right position, but this allows for a faster reflank.
Very fast reflank, 3 players. There is obviously this trip place behind by Westside that'll need to be broken unless maybe they want something to just teleport across and they go elsewhere. Regardless, very fast from GX into this very free C site.
Forsaken's mandate, strictly do not die. Hold the paranoia until we're ready to try and flood in.
Flickless is in so much danger. There's a player in blue room as well.
Grabino here sees the clone. Now the Viper wall comes up. This is going to allow PRX to get in position, but also GX to defensively set up behind it. Z's comes in. They are decayed down. Easy targets. Patman with the critical utility at the most important moment. Now the Nightfall comes through onto the side. Cloud here playing through tree. That door is opening. He sees it. Wouldn't have heard it otherwise. It's Jing toying with him, trying to keep him busy, keep his attention. Catnips away from the fight, and he wins it out anyway. PRX, as only they know how, claim the map on an awkward buy. Two Sheriffs, couple of Bulldogs in the mix. That Nightfall, and again, Patman with important utility.
Map 3, here we go.
To tilt the game in their favor.
Yeah. GX did not make it easy. Respect for the comeback attempt, but PaperX just a cut above on Lotus.
Quick break here, but when we return, the analyst desk are going to get us set up for our third and final map of the series.
Game changers. It's about competition, pure happiness. It's like a crazy experience. We're making history. It means so much to us. It's good to be back. I guess you know what I've been looking for, success.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are. And as long as I'm good enough,
Everybody's getting a 4K.
I can go as far as I want.
That's what I like to see, baby.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
2 minutes, guys. Hold on. I'm just gonna do some quick solo leveling. Wait, you got affiliated? What the hell?
Oh,
Hey, what the fuck?
rescue mission, bro.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
PaperX, they hit back on Lotus and they hit back hard. We sort of saw this coming, you know, a great map for PaperX, not so good for GX. But Mitch, how are you feeling?
You know what, I said at the start of the series, I want to see a sunset. I'm happy we're going to get to go all the way there. Both teams have really put their best foot forward on that map. They picked it in their last series as well. It is a fitting way to end a close battle.
Okay. Cope. That's okay, you could cope, but what isn't a cope is to just acknowledge that, I nearly said David. I'm going to double down with David. That David is one of the best players we have in the tournament and one of the most consistent too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's basically just had an insane match overall, like performing to an incredibly high degree, showing it across different weapons, be it on the attack, the defense, having the operator in hand, and just denying any sort of aggression coming out of the side of GX. This was exactly the sort of response we sort of needed to see, because I think something throughout the last couple of games, including this one, has been fantastic. He needs that sort of second man alongside him, and while in this game, it was definitely Divide.
Yeah, he certainly had it this time. And I think, you know, we come into this map, and the question on my mind is really PRX. They've just been PRX'd in a lot of rounds. They've got a taste of their own medicine. Pipson said it on the stage. When they come out and they hit us, they run it down. We're going to do exactly the same back, bring that same energy. It's a dangerous game to play against this squad. It worked on map 1, and would they be able to bounce back? And they most certainly were here. And I think, as you said, David Divide, like, he was very impactful. Not a single opening duel when it came to that operator, but he was pulling them out of a lot of bad situations using it.
Well, that's because all of the opening kills pretty much went to the side of GX. 15 opening kills, only winning 7 out of them, and they threw a 5v3. This is where I get worried, because Midge, if you cleaned all that up, it could have been a 2-0. It might haunt them. It's also their biggest issue before they got good was just throwing these advantages, and I don't like seeing it back on the global stage.
I do think, though, that it's more prevalent here on Lotus than in any other map in their pool, where it's a big map and there's a lot of individual mistakes that are being forced out by their opponents. I don't think it's going to be the same when it comes to a map that they have played, what, 7 times, not including the one that they played here, which they won dominantly over Sentinels on Sunset. So I think those problems fix themselves with the shift in map.
Yeah, I think it definitely has been the case, and also with Cloud, I think having to focus a little more on like mid-rounding and where they're actually going to be going. You saw his individual sort of position drop, whereas I think on Sunset he was fantastic. So I still have a lot of hope for them, but PRX are still PRX.
Yeah, and they sort of take turns, right, to see who shines and who gets to win the round. And for this one, in the Verizon high-speed moment, Jing just had enough. He was like, let's just go to halftime.
Yeah, this can just happen sometimes, where you have a setup, you have a plan, you're trying to get aggressive, you're trying to get into a position where you can fight. A singular flash leaves you all blind, and then moments later, Jing wipes you out in a split second. And this isn't something we've seen like once or twice, maybe every once in a while. This is something we feel like happens every single day, especially when you have a player as talented as Jing.
Yeah, and seeing that level of confidence be re-hit by PRX, again, going back to the Alex interview where he said they were slow to start up against XLG, but once they found that rhythm, this is a team that snowballs. That's the worry now for GX, because they're now the ones that come in having to bounce back.
I mean, we wanted to see Sunset. We're going to see Sunset. And this is where, in the beginning of the day, I felt like this is such an even playground for both of these teams. I mean, looking at how close map 1 and 2 has been so far, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a close map 3. But my problem is PRX are not getting out PRX as they were on map 1. You know, I don't think they're scared to play anymore, and that's when they're the scariest.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, this has been a map for a very long time now that is incredibly comfortable. The composition that they like to run with the Sage in the mix, where you're going to see these like cool little set plays that are based around the wall, but then also having just a load of potential delay. They can lock off a lot of angles as well, with the way that they play it. And I think the differences in these comps is what makes it very interesting for me. It's that Sage facing off, I guess, in essence, against the Breach. It's like, those are the two that are missing, I guess. And I think the way that I look at the Breach is Flickless is fantastic at putting players into position, especially Arrow when he's going for these aggro plays. I think that on the other side of things, sometimes that is a little bit more reliant on Jing, but they do the same thing with the Sage Wall. Yeah. Like, they put him in spots that you go, well, Jing shouldn't be there, but he is because of the way that they set him up in that manner.
Yeah, and on the other side, for PRX, playing with the Sage, not having like a traditional Sentinel to back you up, it does leave you with some gaps, potentially, depending on what else you bring, in terms of that defense and stopping power. But you combine the Sage with the Viper as well that they're bringing to bear, and they can certainly have no shortage of it on the defense. The problem is on the attack, the occasional gap being left open behind, and I think that's something that GX will look to exploit when we've already seen that aggressive face come out of them. And I think backing up your point as well, Flickless coming into today, he is taking out Smokes players. He's 3rd in terms of assists per round for the tournament so far. And he had a really tough time when it came to playing the Viper on Corrode. So that pulled his stats down a little bit. You see why he plays the Breach, especially in map number 1, with how good the supportive utility was. Some of the flashes on retakes won them the rounds. They were the difference makers, and I think that's going to carry through to the Breach here.
Yeah, I think as well, then putting that focus on Westside. He's been fantastic in these first 2 maps. I think when you have this, especially on the defensive start that Giant X will have, you're going to have one side of the map that's very proactive, looking for fights, looking to take space. The other side of the map is west side. If he gets shut down in this game, I think they're really going to struggle, because especially that attack side start coming out of PRX is going to be rapid.
Well, the interesting thing is PRX, they performed better, at least in their last matchup. They were dominant when it came to that defensive side, didn't get to see much of their attack. But GX also fielding a better attack side. So in that second half, we get to see sort of the strongest parts of both. And Ara, in terms of opening duels, he should be dominating.
Well, this is it. The winner will be going straight to playoffs. Uber and Wire, let's find out who that's going to be.
What a map for a decider in this series as well. Sunset floated by both teams, as neither probably felt the need to be picking it here. But for GX, it's been one of their best maps, and we've already got to see it on Parade against Sentinels, and they smoked them. That was not a close game.
This is the map where GX have the most depth in their strat book, which is really, I think, juxtaposed to a talking point from Lotus. And I would say that's very similar for PRX. They have a number of crazy things they like to throw out there with this Sage, which they liked before Sage was even buffed. So it's just very convenient for them.
They rolled Chila Gaming on this too. Both teams have already shown their Sunset as champions. Will that tape matter? Was there enough time to start to integrate an understanding of how one another play?
Something does play great over here, by the way, as he just shuts down the flank with some very smooth taps. And Patman says, why not me too?
Yep, I'm going to get involved. Don't leave me out.
One ghost headshot, please. And it's down to two GX players, one of which is now one way in spawn, the other which is staring down two players over at Link. Long range frenzy, and something just gets forward. He has been absolutely lethal
dominant
rounds today.
I mean, he exits that last map with 275 ACS. He's 5-2, first kill, first death. But what's even crazier to me statistically is that PRX, they go down 4v5, what, 15 times?
Yeah,
they
15
win
times.
8 of those rounds. They convert a player disadvantage 8 out of 15 times. That's insane. That is an insane
what happens
conversion.
when they get the first kill?
They are more likely to win the round if they lose the first player, Wyatt.
All right. All classics here for GX, who already honestly have just impressed me by taking a map off PRX, keeping it close on the second. To just go back to the story of this game. Oh my god. Well, all right, well, I was going to wait a second depending on what Westside did next, but I mean, just seeing GX, who finished 7th, 8th kickoff, 9th, 10th stage 1, and are taking it to the defending champions in PRX, the best team in the world right now. What an ascension for this team over the last few months.
Yeah, what have they changed? They've just added some rookies to their roster. This round, of course, it's a very lightly held B-side, and the Cypher setup is circumvented only the cost of one player, so it ends up being fairly clean. Look there for PRX, heading into a bonus that is got a couple Vandals in the mix. Pretty well bought up, all things considered.
Obviously, for as talented as this newcomer team of GX has been, PRX, they're experienced, they're rising to the occasion. Now they just need to close this out on Sunset. Top of the pool for either side. First buy now for GX, and this doesn't really look like much of a bonus buy for PRX, I'll tell you that. They have 4 upgraded fully rifles.
It feels like the business socks are on this map.
Westside, he's just playing with some fun little kill trips over there on B, by the way.
A lesson GX learned against Sentinels and the pips and drilled into them in that halftime we heard is that do not simply pay for flood retakes. Try and get ahead of the game. Re-clear aggressively here on defense. That's going to have to be the game plan. Grabinho does not want to fight AO on the corner. Instead, just falls back behind the smoke.
Lookless adjusting position into sight. Doesn't want to get denied at Link. Wants to be able to support his teammate in Grabinho.
Oh, this aftershock pretty dirty. Jing here low after whatever transpired there. And we got Flickless back on an initiator. Insane util from him.
Wow, the re-clear onto Patman. He is immediately removed from the server. How do PRX react?
You take your foot off the gas against this team, they're going to re-clear into you. They're going to win these fights. They're going in 2s and 3s. They control that A side there as PRX just... They let go of the tension a little bit.
30
Give
seconds
GX a way to tempo their way into the round.
It was a cool attempt at that refight with Forsaken teleporting across onto the box, and then you get that swing from Devi timed with it. But the duo from GX, Flickless and Grabinho, refuse to miss a shot in that situation.
It always feels
Nah,
like there's a
they're gonna save at this point.
behind the stall util on one part of the map. The fault line aftershock to slow PRX down as they try to go to link side.
I really liked all of the decisions, honestly, that Flickless was making throughout that entire situation. From just before we saw the aftershock from Jing, he pushes all the way through link into sight to try to beat that timing so he can support Grabinho. They're not just playing for some kind of retake or taking a safe line. No, he doubles up, and then they fight into elbow. Beautiful.
But Grabinho does not fight on first contact. He backs off with that dark cover, gives himself the space to double up with one of his teammates and slow the game down a little bit. Then they can be the ones that take the initiative.
All right, now PRX, they are bought down into this round. Less than 1K credits every single player on their squad. Side with the deep cam into B main, so they can product that a little bit, but then just have that for later in the round if necessary. But probably won't survive till later in the round. Jing wants to break that. ASAP trap play activated.
Try and play ahead of this vault line here, but very quickly PRX get back. That's a thrust for GX that is avoided.
A good nade thrown there from Jing just to deactivate any acceleration that GX might have had in store for them with that trap play, double stun, relay bolt fault line. So it's nice that PRX are able to bait out so much utility early.
GX very quickly now just assemble behind that top mid smoke, ready for a fight.
I mean, look at this position by Westside over on B, by the way. He is just hard committed to holding this angle in main. That is some bold stuff. He has the cage to play off of.
Are they going to re-clear B main again? Deploying drone. They thought about it. Ara definitely thought about it. Our drone come in though, and that is dealt with now. Pull back a little bit and leave Ara close to the door.
And this time they're just set up with a fault line defensively when the pop comes in. PRX have to be worried about getting stunned here, but they bait it out.
Okay, Jing no unaffected by the fault line. Ara realizes this, so doesn't fully swing around that corner. Instead leaves it up to Westside. Gotta be recovered here. Jing gets tucked in on the side. That's where the flash comes from, though, and something does get across. Flickless is going to be busy on this left side of the site, and there was a Sage Wall to cover the market push. PRX have kind of accounted for everything here. Very meticulous hit onto the site. And Grabinho has very little to see with the remnants of the wall in his way.
Cloud has to be careful about corners. Oh, directly to his left and right. Grabinho removed, and PRX too many numbers to overwhelm Cloud. They win those crucial backside fights as well. Swings from Jing, something on opposite sides, a pillar. And I think they did a good job earlier in the round of getting so much of that defensive stall util out. You know, R doesn't have a relay bolt for main there. They mostly dodge out that second fault line that cycles back up as well.
You can see the tendency for GX. As PRX drone out, Ara is walking forward, maybe to re-clear lobby with Westside. They're always looking to fill that space with some form of proactivity.
Still a buy for GX, however, but a necessary round win when you took into account the economy for PRX just then.
The door coming down, shot at.
Now with that dark cover thrown top right mid by Forsaken, that's certainly implying that there may be some intention for PRX to work up mid, and you can see that that's resulted in Cloud having to pick up Boba. But that is all just, you know, sort of minor distraction laid as PRX intend on going towards A.
Aldrone to clear this corner, respecting how far GX are pushed. Ara almost made that one-way work against him. Patman ultimately couldn't punish meaningfully. Grabinho takes a hit off that. PRX decide to go elsewhere. Smoke to top mid. This one not really prepared for by GX. They'll have a crossfire though.
And now a good thing for PRX is that they're drawing Flickless around the map with that utility. Isn't posted up in a great spot to support the anchors on B main right now. Something with that ultimate through. Does it get a tag? No, just out the way is Cloud. Oh, doesn't dodge the second.
Forsaken also lit up there as Flickless is able to take him out of the game early. Patman trying to get quickly out from Market, and he does. Into Boba. Now Jing, Showstopper on site. It's a bit wayward, but Devi is there to deliver. Now Cloud tucked in that corner. Ara on a late reflank here. There's an opportunity here. If he can disrupt the plant, yes, spike loose. Ara ready to fight for it now. Relay bolt thrown out, but didn't quite have the depth. So Jing handles him.
10 seconds left.
Low HP is Cloud, backside left alone. What is the maneuver?
Money's pretty bad.
Back up in just a few seconds.
19 points of health for Cloud.
I mean, surely you go for the 1 versus 2, right? Even with such low HP.
You can get heads turned away with this recon. Not the opportunity. I think he realizes they're tucked in the corner, and a clean double swing from PRX. Gets them 3 rounds ahead.
Yeah, they know Cloud is just so weak. Time to run at him double face. There's no way he wins out both. Flickless does, get back to that site at a reasonable pace. I mean, that's
this Sage utility is going to be a pain.
Man, Aura rushes it just a little bit at the end there. You know, if he waits fully for that spike to be recovered, maybe someone to run towards it, then relay, waste a little bit more time.
I think the relay pulls up a little short. I don't know if it catches on the Jing, but either way, he still loses that duel. Again, GX getting busy behind that one-way A side.
GX who have
camera taken out.
Spicy wall here, Wyatt. This is just for top mid.
Cover going out. Yeah, Patman on this map has a number of different walls that he will be throwing out throughout the game that constantly keep you guessing as to the intentions of PRX.
Just gives them that top mid smoke, quote unquote, on demand.
Poison's off.
Also, it can imply a lot, draw players towards mid off the extremities.
Yeah, and in this instance, it gives them the opportunity to fight towards that right side.
Look at this, though. GX re-clearing A main now. Tons of info for them. And a chance to threaten the Tiles player.
One of those kill trips immediately. Dealt with Grabinho. Wow, wins that out.
So the spotlight here is over at the B side, though. Wyatt inside the smoke on market side. West side is waiting for his moment to spring forth. Grabinho has a rifle. It's the only one, though, for GX here. And Flickless shows himself. That's that breach util for a retake now not available.
Ooh, they're gonna watch out for flank though.
Side with a crazy shot
There
now,
we
but
go.
something locks down the flank. Jing has been on a tear this round. What? Oh my god!
Yeah.
What is happening?
Just the individual gunplay here is ridiculous.
Oh my god!
West side, unreal. Something now has to stop this. They know where he's going to be. Something mindful. Mineral theft would reveal him inside main, but it's going to disrupt the plan. Grabinho now's gotten it to half, and something needs a better gun instead of reloading, and Westside brings it down. The most unlikely of MasterCard thrifties there for GX comes at one of the most important moments.
What on earth are we seeing in that round? Grabinho with the first sheriff headshot. Westside breaks one panel in the wall that has been such a nuisance. Immediate headshot on the cross. Oh my god, what a round. I feel you.
Good job, guys.
And
They keep doing this.
It was the rounds like that that got GX back in the game on Ascent and then eventually propelled them to the win on that map. Crucial eco round pickups.
Uncanny from GX, but they still find themselves behind the pack. Cloud just takes the timing
Oh my
there.
god.
That was back on Link. Forsaken thought he had gotten deep, but now he's been dug out. I'm just waiting for a GX re-clear. It's going to happen at some point. Ara trying to post up with the off. Dangerous now, though.
Nice.
PRX very quickly spring into action. Down
On
the
the
off
way.
player.
Flickless not able to assist, didn't have a stun there. Wants to pick up the line. 2 GX players here. They have to fight off all of PRX. Flickless a little bit too eager, and now Cloud caught in the corner by that showstopper.
That likely will do it, especially with Devi able to stave Grabinho off as he makes his way in through spawn. That's another 4v5 conversion round for PRX, Wyatt.
The Jing has just been a menace in this game so far. Going absolutely crazy.
Ara maybe just look, and the more successful reclears from GX there for Elbow with multiple players backed up. Ara goes solo, tries to post up, and oh jeez, and is punished.
Flickless just didn't have the util to really assist him in that spot. It's unfortunate for GX that their positions just get pretty scrambled.
Uncharacteristic from them.
Kill.
They
Yeah.
are very regimented on this map especially.
PRX have picked up that op and thrown it over to Devi. Shades of the Lotus play. This is a classic from GX, but PRX, they are totally out the way of it. Patman gets out of there.
They got Sentinels with this 2 rounds out of 3. Not PRX though, little too canny for it. They've been able to take up residence on this A side, and West side's trying to ask the question, do I stay or do I go? Jing dominates him from above. Now Cloud being as low as he is, he tries to go up and
Jing,
get a
come on.
weapon. Punished
Give
for
it
that as well. Jing won't be ready for the corner. That is one for Ara. Fast lane will get him out.
At this point, likely to just save with this rifle. And you're exactly right. That's a play that GX were finding success with in the EMEA stage 2 playoffs, found success with against Sentinels, but PaperX, they played around that. And specifically, it's Patman playing around that. He realizes what's happening, gets all the way back into spawn, and then just patiently waits for the moment to get back in and catches one of the GX players wrapping through tiles after the play. He handled that exactly as you need to.
He's been
just
here.
as you need to do to counter this GX aggression.
Patman's been on this roster now for quite some time, but his addition really allowed for that more well-rounded strategic approach. PRX no longer just W gaming, right?
That was the turning point. His addition brought them from one of our great top teams in Valorant to world beater squad, favorite to win champions.
See it there, and it's just the decision to play around that push-up mid.
We haven't seen any team really be able to deal with this GX defense outside of Liquid online when they were at their absolute peak in the playoffs run. Aside from them, GX have been able to beat all of the other competition in Europe, dismantled Sentinels on this map. It's really only been absolute top tier teams that have been able to do it, which obviously right now Liquid a bit of a downturn after game 1, but can't discredit the fact that their play during the EMEA playoffs run was world class.
I mean, a sweep of the EMEA final I think is pretty telling. Here GX have found success on this map when they've been able to fight for that space in numbers. I'm thinking back to that multiplayer re-clear midway through an A hit into elbow. That paid out well for them, but PRX are still winning rounds down a player. It's more than just that first pick. Cloud found the pick over towards Link, and they still ended up losing in the 5v4.
And also, for PRX's sake, going up against a team who like to be so active on defense, the fact that you kill their AWPer and recover the AWP and can use that to nullify defensive aggression, like one of the best tools in the game to do so, that's just even further giving them a bit advantage.
Yeah, we're seeing more of that attack side Senti op from Devi.
Very meta generally, but yeah, more from Devi. He was
great on Lotus too.
Yeah, on Lotus he was just a standout, right? This time, PaperX back to B main, all the way grouped up. They've been doing a good job of just removing these west side trips from Choke. Again, it's just depleted. He keeps putting this one main, but the Shock is breaking it from something.
There is a trip here, though, that could punish Jing, who likes to tuck in that corner after hitting the site. Well, he won't get onto the side at all. Cloud! What a Hunter's Fury. Jing and Devi already extracted from PRX's lineup.
I mean, Devi maybe could have played to a res on Jing, but then he also dies. So no one will be getting rezzed in this round. And we've been talking about the 4v5 for PaperX, how absurd their conversion rate on that has been in this series, but the 3v5 surely not, right? Surely our 3v5 conversion rate isn't just above 50%.
Patman actually able to get a timing on Ara. Already set for the shot, forcing Ara off the line. Trade out by Flickless now, who makes a solo venture into elbow with that screen active in the last moments.
Oh no, Forsaken was making a lot of noise in B main. West side, does he dare step out?
Forsaken has a good idea. There is an op there by Forsaken, so he might have to take that up again.
I mean, what is going on now? Something has just threaded the needle into A spawn, teleport towards A for Forsaken.
He does have the spike though, so he has to give this spot up at some point.
I mean, again, something only has 12 seconds, now has to get back to the site.
Could respond.
Look at the minimap, man. This is chaos. Now Forsaken said, okay, bet I'll take your positioning and spawn. And might catch Cloud.
He got him! He got him off the spike! That is nuts! Flickless, dirty work. That map was turned upside down.
Oh my, I mean, it's just pandemonium across the minimap. But Flickless plays to the out of just throw him up into the skybox.
That's the tune to a 3-round win. I'm taking that trade every day of the week. Oh, the Sage Wall there makes it a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, it's so
one enemy remaining.
The timing on that is perfect. I mean, chaos round. Somehow they almost brought it back, by the way. They had me believing they were going to win
3v5 to start.
I was very invested in the fact that they were somehow going to win that 3v5, but Flickless, the cool hands prevail.
Ara's pushed up here. Ready for an Aldrin around this one way. We'll give that space up. Flickless not quite in position to help out with a fault line.
Aura has been pushed up a lot in this game, and it's yet to really net too much value. PaperX have been exploiting his forward positions by getting entry kills onto him.
Flickless has used a lot of his util here. Just the flashes now. Aura with a relay bolt. Devi already up on the corner though. Smoked
GX,
out.
look at this. Just pacey rotate. They've got 4 players now onto this A site.
PRX sniffed this out. There's obviously the chance to work different parts of the map, but they obviously concerned about the Cypher. Ding! He's seeing that whole plan by Flickless.
That is criminal!
In midair! Just wins it out. Gets deeper on towards Link. Rubinho at least shuts him down, but that was ungodly, and it's an opener for PRX. They can now look to exploit. Forsaken crouches into the shot. Nara is dashed aside. Cloud trying to work around this wall, and Rubinho finds the corner. There's a player trying to spike down. Rubinho's found 3 here. Devi is indeed trouble. Up the proverbial without a paddle. Spike out of his grasp, and an Aldrone looking to sniff him out.
Surely Nara smoked off. GX have to lock this one up. They just make the call for that full rotate towards the A site. PaperX have been going for a fair amount of re-hits. They were positioned, ready, and even with
What are they doing?
Jing getting an absolutely illegal kill onto Flickless with the satchel in. They still just have more than enough players to lock it down. Kind of goes for more, and Gravino's just ready for that swing through.
And then he finds 2 more. Yeah. I don't know if there's a lack of awareness about the fact that he's sort of poked around the corner, or maybe feels like he's been covered from box there. But Devi, in theory, could have had that corner held. A little breakdown in communication there for PRX. Their plant attempt is thwarted. And now this game is closed up to 2 rounds. And the money for PRX is, it's okay. They've got 4 ultimates to work with here. I can see why they're frustrated.
Alex has definitely been frustrated at the last couple round losses. Great time to get a timeout in. They've got all the ultimates up, as you mentioned. Ensure that you're getting 7 on the board using all these ults, right? It would be a massive disappointment for PaperX if they can't close one of these rounds out with that arsenal.
And back-to-back 1 rounds for GX, though, means they're buying for the rest of the half, so no concerns economically. Although for them, there's no big ultimates on the horizon, really. Maybe
yeah, that's really the thing, right? If PaperX min-max the ults, they can use some for this round, use some for the next round, and that can be enough to win it out. Yeah, against the GX will have done.
Maybe a fast play behind a something Hunter's Fury might be in order. So the Cypher util at B, though, makes that a difficult prospect, but that can be cleared, of course. The Shocks have been good at taking out the B main trip, for example. Westside's not really invested in changing that one up too much.
No, he has just been throwing that trip pretty much every single time, and it has been getting consistently broken. But all right, very fast Jing up mid, paranoia through market. What is that, a direct?
I must have been. Grabino was in a place that's hard to hit with that showstopper. Up on top of Kiosk in the 10 spot. There's Patman. Finds himself 1, but again, PRX still have that numbers advantage. Devi with a Sheriff to work with, though.
Timing out main, Forsaken swings onto Westside, the lone anchor on site.
There's no eyes on main for Westside. There's not much he could have done. Ara might want to try and play into the site early, or at least imply that he's done so with his fast lane.
Another round should be good as done. Only 1 ult necessary for this one. That is so ideal for PaperX. They just have to stop Aura and Flickless.
DX going to play the way into the side. Ara's only had 2 frags for the half. It's been a quieter outing for the Neon.
Look at this delay, though. They're slowed on one side, walled on the other.
And Jing is going to be standing in their way now as well. Talk about arresting utility. It's just Ara in that 1 versus 3, and his troubles, his woes continue. PRX have made 7 rounds now. And like you mentioned, only at the cost of the showstopper there.
They just bring that round to 0 to 100 straight away. Jing through. Yeah, it's like a basically direct on the Gravino. That's crazy. What a rocket. And then Patman had just been on that late lurk, waiting in mid to cut off the rotators.
I mean, that's such a hard spot for Westside to be in. He knows that market's compromised. He knows there could be a push out of main.
And with the advantage PaperX have in terms of the numbers, they don't even feel like they need to take backside control or anything, right? Just wall it off. We'll slow the other side, delay. It's fine. 3 ults for this final round. PaperX to get in the lead. 8 to 4. This is GX's best map. But realistically, I think you could say the same probably for PaperX.
And they didn't play much of it in stage 2 at all. They played Bind 5 times, Haven 4 times. They actually had a narrower map pool of played maps in the stage than most of their contemporaries. But everything is still
I think
well and good on this map.
I think they are just incredible here. Flickless, though, with that first kill. That was catching Patman on the cross.
Top mid was where that shot came from. A Divine Jigana in the side. Hunter's Fury coming out from something. Nothing to see here, though. Shorty for Forsaken. A rare moment where it doesn't quite cut the mustard. Flicked us down to 49, but that's enough for him and Grabinho now to bully their way back into the side. It's on something. Who is looking for a wrap? Something that Flickless is already accounting for. It may not matter. Something looking to the corner of the masonry. Sees Ara first. Grabinho is in no better shape than he is. 21 plays 46. Spike out on B, and something is slowing it down.
Grabinho in serious shock dart danger. Unfortunately, not one of Omen's abilities. There's a recon backup for something just now as well. He is taking his time, obviously. From his perspective, Grabinho could basically be anywhere.
For something, it could be nothing or it could be everything, Wyatt. Up onto the spike. That is crosshair position for Grabinho, but this time, Grabinho hits the jackpot and grows GX's round total to 5 heading into the half. Very scrappy, very competitive first half, and GX getting those 4 rounds in a row was huge for them. We'll get a quick break. We'll be back, of course, with the conclusion of this decider map.
My
Winner
God.
goes to playoffs.
Nice, guys.
Guys, this will never end.
Have 7 rounds to their name after a pretty high-paced attack side, but their opponents, who were virtually invisible domestically in kickoff, invisible in stage 1, make the changes by adding 3 rookies, and now they've done enough themselves on this first half of Sunset to potentially put themselves into playoffs over who many people believe is the best team in the world. GX looking very good, but they need to get Ara in this game. Coinbase Econ Report, of course, we'll be looking at first to highlight Jing, who is 14-8 right now, with some pretty filthy moments on this map. Hard hitting on towards that B side especially.
Yeah, so crucial for the entries. We saw one of those last rounds, that really fast-paced double satchel with the showstopper into market. That was crazy. And honestly, in terms of pace, I think GX pretty much they match PRX on this map. We're going to see a lot of fast play. Aura is going to have to come to life here on attack because GX's game plan revolves around really nicely paced, sequenced out util around Aura, putting him in positions to get easy entry kills by connecting great fault lines, connecting crucial paranoias, etc. And those pieces of utility will come usually in perfect succession, and that's what PRX are going to have to go up against. But GX Aura needs to come to life.
Yeah. What I like about Aura, though, is he will slow down if he is too far ahead of that util. He has such a great sense for the pacing to make sure that it all lines up. The Flickless was incredible on Ascent in setting him up. It's going to have to be a mirror image of that on the Sunset attack side.
That being said, if there is one agent that is also great at slowing down the pace of attackers, stalling them out, it will be that Sage. Devi's utility should have big impact here on the defense. The way that Patman anchors B with the wall is sick, but right now, B ignored by GX. It's an effort to work up towards this A side. PRX, who had been triple facing down mid, trying to take some kind of contact, are mostly just stacked up towards Link on account of that.
Giving up for some contact here via Link, and outside of that retake, wanted to slow down this push in towards Elbow. They know what's coming. And they've given that part of the map up on purpose. Oh, something had his crosshair positioned perfectly for that, and a 6 cents for the timing.
Is up with this guy on pistol rounds? He has been a demon today.
It's practically extrasensory perception.
Now Flickless has 2 flashes. He's got the aftershock ready to play within this post flank. Corbino, look at the situation he's in.
So dangerous. There was a shoulder pick, not full committal from Divine. Nice. He's going to be able to take the frag.
Something again, and that's Flickless down. The utility removed.
Yep. For the retake, that's going to make things pretty difficult for GX as they play off the site. Something. Just the god with the ghost.
Another triple. Triples on both pistol rounds.
No, he had a quad.
Oh, that was a quad on the first one? Oh, my bad.
Sorry,
and
bro.
then it was an ace on map 1. And then, I mean, bro, what is going on with him today?
Again, Corbino always dangerous in a spot like this, but there's a slowdown, a shoulder pick from Divine to confirm. Ara gets his in the round, but that's it. that is grim satisfaction from Coach Alex. Nothing more.
Insane. I set it back on map 1, but something's formed right now. I think you could argue is maybe his all-time peak, but it's definitely one of his highest peaks he's had over the last couple months.
But more than half of his kills have come from Ghost and pistol rounds.
It's
Just want to put that out.
Those rounds are pretty important. He's stepping up when they need him.
Second
and now
pistol, one for
got
PRX, you're right.
It's crazy.
All right, here comes Ara, steps up to the plate though. The light is very good. What a recon. Something sets up for the first kill and takes a second for himself. Jing
come on.
doesn't want to be left out. Refuses to be a footnote on a round like this, but Flickless will get the drop on him. Stinger always dangerous.
By the way, we've had 0 time to mention it, but that was a force from GX. No time to mention it because they got absolutely brutalized by a util combo play from PRX, a late nade. The recon comes over top. We've seen that from Something's point of view. Unbroken, free for Jing.
I feel like there's a tipping point here. This first gun round, if it's not successful for GX, this map gets away from them pretty quickly. Tough pistol round to run into. Losing both pistols on this map, never great.
On the first half, it was a thrifty round win that got them back into it. It was West Side with a Sheriff. She has got right now. And on Ascent, it was 2 rounds like this as well. But yeah, Something, he is just simply not easing up.
Expecting more from that, and he was right, in a sense. Mid definitely swarming with GX players right now, but Jing is feeling himself.
Spike down mid.
We'll take 2 with that Spectre. It's just Cloud. Spike is in mid. It's all but impossible. And so Pistol and Anti-Eco, they pass without much event here. GX down by 5.
How are you supposed to stop PaperX on one of, if not their best maps, when you have Jing and Something in top-tier individual form? 36 kills currently between the 2 of them. That is madness.
It's a very early showstopper picked up for Jing.
And 1 away from a Hunter's Fury for Something.
Yeah. Talk about ideal kill allocation. You got Jing and Something, the 2 best players to have those orbs fed to. Ara, only 1 kill so far this half. It's been quiet to be fair, but now gun round here for GX. No thrifty for them this time around, so they've got to do it the old-fashioned way. Get back into this game with the rifles.
Dark cover for top mid so they can just contact their way up here. Devi holding the angle with a very early operator.
Come on, Devi.
Will be ready for him. Might not even matter. They're trying to go through top mid. They're trying to split through Boba.
Slow orb to slow down this market push though, and yet GX haven't gone in there. They've got that top mid control. They're looking to try and exercise that into Boba. Devi had to heal himself quickly. Patton with a double back over towards Mark, and that's massive.
And everyone top mid, they're just stalled out. They're cut off because of the wall.
And how are they supposed to get this back? Flickless and Cloud, both the ones at the util.
And it is the pace that GX have just being stalled out entirely by the existence of this Sage. It is the counter to their play style. And that's exactly why. What a response to that split execute from Devi. And then Patman, 1 versus 2 in market.
Originally, there was a slow orb there at market that made it impossible to fully split this properly.
Okay. I mean, there's even a little gap in the wall that Devi exploits.
We actually saw that on Ascent on a number of occasions.
1 for 5, dude. 1 for 5, dude.
Showstopper used. Now, Something, Hunter's Fury. Still no one on GX with an ultimate.
And look at where Something is sat. I think he might be ready to rip this. As soon as he gets an inkling, Something is up. This is going to cause a split here for Westside. Eventually, on his own,
And this is a split again through top mid, but this time into A. Aura with a crucial kill onto Forsaken. That keeps GX in the round.
This elbow presence, though, for PRX is something of concern for GX. They had to dig it out, and look, the other arm of their pincer can't actually get past the line of scrimmage onto the A side. There's got to be a wrap, but Divide's waiting for it. Aura, though, wins it out. Now it's on Jing. He has to fight his way out of this. Now, but they've not checked the corner, and Jing got himself two. That puts PRX up in the round, and Cloud at least has the spike to recover. But the net on him is closing too.
The late flank from Patman. He's feeling the pressure, the walls closing in, stuck in elbow, has to get that spike, does so. But now where can he plant where he feels any level of safety? He wants to draw a Patman. This is some good intuition from Cloud. He's expecting the flank.
Patman is not the player that's going to fall into this trap. The last member of PRX that's going to be fallible to it.
Something open, facing this angle right now.
Cloud is going to have to walk across and has to hedge his bets. The last best chance
One last one, guys.
goes by the wayside. Another attempted split through mid, falls flat.
This is the kind of execute that they love to run, and it almost brought them the success that they needed, but they just didn't.
So YouTube, don't mind me.
The second player would be
I'm just
elbow that Jing was tucked, and he saves
it's
the
kind of
round
late
for
right now.
PRX with that two-piece.
Don't mind me.
Now, GX at the 11th hour have to throw down to stay alive in this series. Well, PRX, as expected, would be advancing first out of this group to playoffs.
And it's a, wow, fast play down mid, Jing satcheling off of that paranoia.
Cloud pinged out, Forsaken hears all of this and chooses not to step forward. Now gets under the side of the bubble. Patman controlling it from one part of the map, and he gets his. Grabino, though, 3 players now inside this elbow, and they're going to go for it. Aura throwing caution to the winds. It has to be now.
What is the maneuver for GX? They're being surrounded. There's a flank coming from their spawn side. They want to flip the map. They want to play from the defense spawn. But Cloud is caught. It's a 2 versus 4.
The head of the snake cut off. It isn't a Hydra. Will more grow? It doesn't look to be the case. It's Aura now in a 1v3. Trying to relay bolt his way out of this now. Waiting on the other side is something. Waiting for his just desserts. A frustrating map, but there it is. Aura has found himself 4. A Red Bull clutch to keep GX in the game.
He's been silent for a while, but comes back in crazy fashion with that. Oh my god.
Relay bolt. Might have bought him the space he needed.
What a moment. Divide can't connect. You hate to have an operator against a slide like that. How are GX still in this game?
Yeah, that's a hands-to-head kind of moment there for PRX.
I was ready for the arena music to cue, players to stand up, fist bumps to start, but we're still going.
GX have been able to work with a little bit more in terms of weaponry. A lot of half armors, in fact, all of them out there, but Hunter's Fury is ready for Cloud. They're in this still. Standard one-way refresh there for Forsaken. Sees that fault line come through. This is going to pull this over of something over to Link.
Just tries to get a bit of pre-fire off, and now recon paranoia just stalls up GX.
Buy some time for this rotate to be pulled across from B. GX do look committed to this.
Forsaken just jumps out to get a little bit of info. Wow, Westside caught on the cross.
Really hoping to be a thorn and deny a wraparound, but there will be a reflank coming from PRX now, and GX know it. It's time to go. Onto the side goes Aura. Cloud trying to set him up here with a Hunter's Fury. No tags. Forsaken able to jump away from it for the most part. And now at Link, a little uncomfortable are PRX.
Cloud watching the flank, Flickless getting the spike down. What can Cloud do? 1 for 1. One more kill for Flickless. He'll get that rolling thunder.
3 up though for GX. They don't have a lot to work with. Flickless needs the frag. Something to get swung on. It's going to be Aura finding his, but Patman comes alive. And Flickless solo on the side. Hunter's rolling thunder's there. He can make use of it out of the 1v1, but Device swings on in. And finally, GX are forced to succumb. The overpowering pace, shooting power of this PRX team will send them first into the playoffs.
How are you supposed to beat PRX when Jing and something are playing like that? I think this last map, this last win for PaperX here, the most impressive of this series, right? Being able to have your most decisive victory against GX on their best map. They looked well prepped. Between Jing and something, the two of them combined have dropped 44 kills. That is madness.
Generally, though, a banger of a series. Yeah, it felt like PRX really able to feel themselves on this Sunset map. There are moments for GX. Thinking back, though, man, Senna Lotus gave us some incredible moments, some great gameplay. I think GX were maybe hoping that Ira could get into the game a little bit earlier here on Sunset though. I think he ends the first half with only those 3 kills. There are a couple of big ultimate rounds that come up that GX aren't quite able to turn in their favor. And just some ridiculous moments there from PRX, who were able to read these splits through mid on multiple consecutive rounds.
Yeah, that Sage, I think this comp from PaperX just really threw a spanner in the works as far as how GX approached this map. I think it was a pretty great counter in a way. Impressive stuff from PaperX to close it out in dominant fashion, but definitely have to give respect still to GX, who were able to take that first map off of them, keep Lotus close. Again, just coming into this, the storylines of these two teams where they were back at, just reframe to the context that these teams existed in, and Toronto. PaperX winning the tournament. GX just finished 9th, 12th in EMEA, and they kept it that close, so respect.
Let's send it over to Lou down on the stage for our Verizon post-match interview with Patman.
Champion des Masters Toronto, les PaperX arrivent dans le top 8 à Paris. PaperX are in playoff thanks to you. Also, Patman, first of all, congratulations for making it to playoff here in Paris. And my first question is going to be about, that status, that champion status you have from Toronto. Now, everyone is expecting you, to win, to do good and stuff. So how are you guys handling this? Zero pressure?
To be honest, about that winning thing, we're not thinking about so much about that. We're just like having fun and then go round by round and game by game, because if we think too much about winning, it's not gonna be a good thing for us.
Yeah, you shouldn't be overthinking, right? Donc première question, ils ont un statut, ces PaperX, depuis leur victoire à Toronto. Donc comment est-ce qu'ils gèrent un petit peu ça, ce statut de champion, de devoir gagner un petit peu tout le temps? Et tout simplement, on n'y pense pas. L'oversing, c'est clairement notre ennemi. On essaie là d'être sur le stage et de juste prendre du plaisir. And second of all, I think you guys are probably the team with the most fans out there. You have jerseys everywhere. FNS is rooting for you and stuff. So from your perspective, Patman, what makes everyone love you like that and PaperX?
I think because we play very differently and not playing like so much perfect Valorant, and me and my teammates is just like vibing, and I think that's what people like really most, when the team is kind of funny and like cure to some sadness when they want to watch us. So yeah.
Exactly, you trigger emotions also, I think so. Donc pourquoi, à ton avis, est-ce que tout le monde vous adore? Il y a tellement de maillots PaperX dans le public et de fans aussi qui les suivent, tout simplement parce qu'on ne joue pas un Valorant parfait, on est amusant à regarder, on procure des émotions aussi à ceux qui nous regardent, et je pense que c'est un petit peu tout ce combo-là qui fait que ça marche. And last but not least, next match is going to be DRX versus NRG. Who do you see winning? What's your prediction?
I'm going to root for Pacific Pride, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to be a tough match because NRG is a really, really good team. And yeah, I think I'm just rooting for DRX.
Rooting for DRX, of course. Prochain match, DRX face à NRG dans quelques minutes.
A DRX versus PRX rematch.
Pacifique avec DRX. Thank you very much, Patman. Merci. And now it's time to discover if our talents are better than Patman at predictions. See you.
Alright, I think that's it for YouTube, alright? For YouTube, I hope you guys like the watch party so far, although there's a few but I hope you do like this video, and please do like and subscribe to the channel, please, alright? For more watch parties, maybe videos. Alright, good night.